Hello, good evening. My name is Richard. This is Over and Over and Over Again. It is Friday evening. It is 7:30. And it means one thing, the Arsenal Women's Show. We are back with it's going to be a good show tonight. There's lots to get through, obviously. The win against Chelsea, what a fantastic performance that was. We're going to look back on that. We are going to look back as well on the rather exciting North London Derby during the week where we just overcame Tottenham on penalties. There's another North London Derby tomorrow, so we're going to preview that as well. One or two other bits and pieces in the news. We're going to briefly touch on some comments made by a certain ex-footballer about women in the game of football. So we'll have a little chat about that as well. Plus, anything else that comes up. If you guys if in the chat have got any comments or questions that you want to put to us, please feel free to do so. We'll try and get through as much of them as we can as we go through the show. And it's all coming up the other side of this. And of course, joining us back from his trip to London last weekend, and he's been to Munich during the week as well, is our international man of mystery. It is, of course, Andreas. How are you this week?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Not bad at all, and looking forward to the show. Yeah, great new intro you have for the show. I love these pictures you have. Great emotions.
Yeah, I thought I'd do something new for the, just because it's why not have a little fresh it up a little bit. That's what we need to do, don't we? There is a couple of comments in. Dan's asked us a question. It's about Chelsea. So what we'll do is when we get onto the Chelsea game, I'll bring that question up and we'll talk about that when we get to that point. Magnificent Jaffar's with us. He said, hit them likes, people. Indeed, yeah, hit the likes. Give us a like. Why not? Because, why not? It's free and it's good fun. What I do, obviously, we are going to talk about the Chelsea game very, very soon. And for those of you who maybe didn't see Andreas's vlog of that match, please check it out on the channel because it is something really special, really, really good. So definitely, it's had a lot of views already. A lot of people have watched it, but if you haven't seen it yet, please get onto that because it is really good and it gives you a real good flavour of what it was like in the stadium for that great game, which I'm going to talk about. But just before we get started with that, I don't want to spend too long on this, but I do think it's quite important. Obviously, it affects women's football. It affects women in football. It's some comments by a certain player that maybe has caused a lot of controversy, shall we say. So I'm sure you don't need reminding of exactly what he's been talking about. Joey Barton, of course, the former Premier League footballer, is not exactly over the moon with women being involved in men's football in terms of commentating and presenting and all that kind of stuff, being pundits and whatever. It has caused a lot of sensation on the internet in particular. He's got quite a lot of backlash on it. One or two points that he made were maybe valid, but overall he's gone about it totally the wrong way and it's put people's backs up, quite understandably so, and maybe he needs to go and reassess exactly how he wants to address these kind of issues, really, if they're issues at all. I mean, Andreas, what did you make of what Joey Barton said? Because, I mean, he's not really gone about this in a sort of way to get a sensible discussion going, has he? Which is what maybe we could do with having a sensible discussion about it, but not in the way that Joey Barton's done it, have we? That's not the right way, is it?
Maybe I know too less about this, but why did he start this discussion? What's his problem? There are experts, there are pundits for men's and women's football, and does it really matter whether this is a man or a woman? The important thing is that the person who is as a pundit, who is working as a pundit on TV, that this person knows everything about the subject he or she is talking about. And if you have former professional footballers, players like Alex Scott or Emma Byrne or Kelly Smith, I don't know who else is working on TV, Alan White, or they know what they are speaking about. They were professional football players, so why don't let them talk about football, whether it's men or women's football? And Joey Barton, is he such a great player? Has he been such a great player that he knows everything? I had to Google his name to find out that he was a good player. Yes, but I think Emma Hayes had a good reaction or comment in her press conference, and I don't know whether it was necessary to start such a discussion. We need experts, we need professional players that have ended their career. They know about the game, they know what they are talking about because they experience it themselves in the game. And for us as viewers, this is enough. It doesn't matter for me whether it's a man or a woman talking about it.
No, exactly. I mean, the only thing I would say is that we what we want is, as people watching the game, we want the best people for the job. I do, certainly. And I don't care whether they're man or woman, whether they're white or black, whether they're English or they're not. It doesn't matter if they're the best person to do that particular job. Now, there's plenty of men pundits who have been on the telly for many, many years, the likes of Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher, all these people that are constantly on there. Are they good enough as pundits? Do we enjoy them enough for them to say that they deserve that role still? I don't know. That's an opinion, isn't it? Because some people will like them, some people don't like them, and I think that's fair enough. But as someone watching football, all I want to know is, I personally, I'm not actually that fussed about the punditry. I don't really listen to it anyway. I know it serves a purpose and people enjoy it, and that's fine. But for me personally, I'm not really that bothered. I don't care who's there in the studio. I'm not really going to listen to them anyway much, because that's not what interests me. I like to hear interviews after the game with the managers, with the players, that kind of stuff. I'm interested in that before the game. I'm not really interested in what ex-players have to say, whether they're men players, whether they're women players, whatever they are. I'm not really that interested in what they've got to say, because it's just not something I like. But I know that there's a reason for them being there. There's a role that they play and all that kind of stuff. But I just want to see the best people doing it, whoever they are. I'm not really bothered. Some of them I like, I enjoy. Some of them I don't, and that's the same, I think, for everybody. No one can tell me that they prefer the men pundits or commentators over the women ones, because there'll be some of each that we like and we don't like, and I think that's all there is to it, really. And Jerry Barton, you're absolutely right, Andreas. Jerry Barton has made this issue for what reason, I don't know. It doesn't seem any particular reason why he's brought this up now. What the point is, whether he's been turned down for work doing it in the studio and feels that it's because he's a man he's been turned down. I don't know whether he's got that problem or not. I'm not sure, but he certainly hasn't gone about this in the right way. And what he needs to do is go away, really think about it all, and maybe get back into doing what he was doing before, which he was managing Bristol Rovers, of course, most recently. So he maybe needs to just worry about that, worry about his own career, and don't really worry too much about stuff that's got nothing to do with him, in a sense that he doesn't employ these people. He's just like us. He watches it on the telly, probably like we do. He's got an opinion on who he likes or he doesn't like, and that's fine. But that's as far as it should go. And he's made a big drama out of it. And I personally don't really mind or care who's there. What I do want, though, I don't want people put on the telly for the wrong reasons. They should be there because, as you said, Andreas, that they know what they're talking about, and they can offer some sort of insight, and they can offer some sort of opinion that we're not going to maybe get anywhere else, and that's fine. And if they can do that, I don't care who they are, as long as they can do the job they're meant to be, that they're being paid to do. That's fine. But yeah, it seems a bit nonsense, really. But it's Jerry Barton all over, really, isn't it? I suppose. Terry says, "Good evening, all in the chat. Good evening, Terry." Rendition says, "Jerry Barton's a washed-up player, anti-woke, a grifter." Well, he seems to be. Greg says, "Barton has never been very bright, a typical dumb footballer." Well, I wouldn't necessarily put all footballers into the Jerry Barton category. When you look at his history in terms of assaults and being in prison and being banned several times from football, I don't think he's your typical example of a footballer. Certainly not a modern footballer. Maybe in the past he may have been, but I think that the profile of footballers now has changed, hasn't it? And but you're right. He's definitely not very bright. There's no question about that. Terry says he's like Gary Big Ears Lineker, a waste of space and missing the spotlight. Well, I mean, Gary Lineker's doing all right for himself. Maybe Jerry Barton wants Gary Lineker's job. Maybe that's what it's about. Who knows? Terry says all punditry is bullshit commentary. Is the way forward. Well, I don't listen to it personally. That's just my preference, but I understand as people do like it, and some people live their life off what they're told by Gary Neville, for example. They're constantly re-quoting what Gary Neville has said, as though Gary Neville's opinion is the only opinion that we need to listen to, whereas quite frankly I don't care what Gary Neville says. But there you go. But yeah, so we don't want to really spend too long out. Jerry Barton, you're a bit of an idiot, mate. Sort your life out. And worry about getting a job back in football somewhere as a manager or something. Not that anyone's going to have you now, I wouldn't imagine. But anyway, worry about yourself and let us carry on with what we do. Let everybody who works in football carry on with their job. Some of them are good, some of them aren't. That's just the way it is. Yeah, so that's sort of all that really. What we are going to do though is we're going to talk about something a lot more exciting, a lot better, and that is a fantastic game last Sunday, which Andreas was at, and his vlog was fantastic, but the game was brilliant. I mean, I don't think anybody was expecting the result in that way, and of the performance from Arsenal was just, I mean, it was far above all our expectations, wasn't it? I mean, you know, we hoped for a win. We're all a little bit, well, apart from Terry, obviously, but all of us were a little bit thinking, well, a draw wouldn't be bad, and maybe we can sneak it, maybe by the odd goal and stuff like that. But I mean, 4-1 flattered Chelsea in the end, because we could have scored 6 or 7 with some of the chances. Yes, okay, towards the end of the game, you know, Chelsea lost their shape a little bit because they were pushing on, trying to get a goal, and there was loads of space. We should have maybe made more of that, but the performance from pretty much from start to finish, yeah, just around their equaliser, we switched off for 5 minutes. They scored. They could have scored another one with that save that Zinni made, but it was pretty much the perfect performance, wasn't it? It was just everything about what's great about this team in 190-minute performance. It was amazing. I mean, to have been in a stadium, Andreas, that must have been something special to have been there to witness that performance.
Yeah, of course. The match itself, Arsenal versus Chelsea, is the biggest match in the WSL, second against first in the table, and 59,000 attendance in the Emirates. We all know what a fantastic stadium Emirates is, and then filled with 59,000. And yeah, and the girls, they followed their match plan. They were motivated. It was just fantastic, and it went from the spectators, from the attendance to the team and back. These emotions and everything was just fantastic to see. And in the end, we outplayed Chelsea over 90 minutes. We were the better team. We were dominant. We deserved the win. And if it would have been a normal result, then 6-1 would have been okay, because we had chances. Stina missed a sitter. It must be a goal, and so were other chances when Chloe was going alone at the goal. Then one time she was too unselfish. The other time she should have done it herself. But it was really deserved, and the 4-1 is not enough to show in figures how much better Arsenal was. Just for that, Sam Kerr, did she play? She was kept quiet all the match. Lauren James too. The only thing you saw from her was this nasty action against Leah. Guro Wrighton came in second half. We kept her quiet. She's a fantastic winger, and with her assist, our defense was fantastic. Our midfield dominated, and our attacking line was brilliant, and always a threat for the Chelsea goal. Of course, Ann-Katrin Berger had a bad day. The second goal was her fault, the corner, and for the penalty, she should have stayed in goal and not come out, because Jess Carter made the tackle, and she made the tackle to the ball, and then Berger coming out, and she fouled. So it was a bad match from her. But all in all, our performance was brilliant, and I hope that we can win. But I didn't expect us to dominate Chelsea in the way we did. Just fantastic, and I don't think that one of our players had a bad match. They were all just great, and to name a player of the match was nearly impossible. You could name 4 or 5 from our team and say, player of the match, fantastic. And the atmosphere was great, and I hope that in my match day blog you could see the emotions and the atmosphere. And this time I met the friends from Vienna before the match and interviewed them. So I'm always trying to transport the emotions and the atmosphere, and this time at the Emirates was fantastic to be there.
It was. I actually played your interview with your friends from Austria before the game on the show, because you'd sent it through. So I actually put it on the show before we started the game, which was quite good. So That was good. But yeah, no, it was great to obviously, to get other people's views as well. And I think everybody wasn't expecting an Arsenal performance and victory like that, were they? Which, everyone was expecting a tight game. Of course we were, because, it's Arsenal-Chelsea. It generally is a tight game. But yeah, I mean, you're talking about sort of player of the match there. Rendition says, Palova smoked the entire Chelsea midfield. Yeah, I've got to be honest. I thought Victoria Palova was absolutely outstanding in that game. For me, I thought she probably was the player of the match. I know she didn't get it in the end, obviously. Leslie got it for her 2 goals and her performance. But I thought Vicky in midfield, that was incredible, her performance, wasn't it? The way she was winning the ball, running at the Chelsea midfield. Her passing was pretty spot on all the way through. I thought, she's getting better and better every game, isn't she? And that was, for me, that was almost the complete midfield performance. Now, we're a bit sort of concerned, was he going to play Kim, Leah, and maybe Frida Marnham and not play Vicky Palova? But he put her in there in a big game, and wow, did she rise to the occasion? She was brilliant, wasn't she?
Yeah, it was fantastic performance from her. I was a bit concerned when I saw in the lineup Leah and Kim, because they were out with injuries for a while. But Leah was also outstanding in this match. You could see her experience and the way she reads the game. Yeah, she was fantastic. Then I thought Lotta was the player of the match. she bossed the defense. She was. I think she's growing also with every match in this season, and a fantastic performance. And of course, Alessia Russo, once again, her work rate and her goal, fantastic done. But passes and from Vicky, just great. And how she goes in every duel, how she wins the ball back, how she protects the ball, and then her passes, her ideas, how she reads everything in situations in midfield. It's like a young Kim Little. It's fantastic. And when you see Kim went out injured, and we don't have a problem with this. It's bad, and we say, oh, pity, Kim injured. I don't want any of our players go out with injuries, but this season we can say, okay, then let's sub on Kyra, let's sub on Frida. There's so much potential on the bench. It's unbelievable, and great that this fits together better. I mean, we had the same squad against Liverpool or against Villa, but they needed time to find them as a team and to gel together the new arrivals. And now you can see from 1 week to the next how it gets better and better. And of course, I was happy for Leslie that she got the award as player of the match, because she had a difficult time leaving United and coming to Arsenal, and how she's integrated and accepted from the team and from the fans. It's just great.
I mean, I think everybody was excited that we signed her anyway. Even before we signed her, everyone was excited about the thought of signing her. So, yes, she had a few settling in issues, of course. And I do feel a little bit, you're right. At the start of the season, it wasn't quite gelling, was it? There was, you could see it wasn't quite working as a unit. And now it is. And I don't want to say it, but we almost look unstoppable the way we're playing at the minute, the momentum that we're building up. And I think one of the keys to that, and it's not just a matter of one player, but I think Beth coming back, since she started games again, suddenly we're going from narrow 2-1 victories that we're maybe struggling a little bit in, to suddenly winning 3-0s and 4-1s and scoring more goals and being a threat. And I do feel as though that's a significant reason. It's not the only reason. No, of course not. We're not going to say it's just because of Beth. But I do think that's made a massive difference as well to the way that certainly in the attacking side of our game, how much better we look now with Beth in the team. She scored 3 goals already. She's created numerous other opportunities. And, you can see what how great it is to have her back, and now she's right in form again, and she's getting back to her best. I know Viv's still struggling a little bit. We'll talk about that obviously when we talk about the Tottenham game, but it's great to have Beth back, and I do feel that's one of the big reasons why suddenly the performances have gone from narrow victories to suddenly now we're almost dominating games from start to finish. We're scoring goals. We could score a lot more, and it's just fantastic, isn't it? Wayne says, I wish we'd gotten 6 or 7 because we'd be top of the league on goal difference. Yeah, we don't need to be top yet, though, do we? As long as we top at the end of the season, I do think that's a significant result anyway, beating them. And hopefully it won't matter about goal difference later on. But it would have been nice to have, regardless of goal difference, wouldn't it have been nice to have won that game 6 or 7-1? That would have just been, wow, what a result that would have been. We'd have been loving that forever, wouldn't we? I mean, Emma's face at the end was a picture anyway. But if we'd beaten them 6 or 7, you can imagine what our response would have been to that. Wayne says, to be fair, last season I feel we battered them. We just didn't put the chances away. We got the pennant and let the lead slip. Yeah, it was a similar game, but last season we didn't get those second and third goal, did we? That we did on Sunday, and that's the difference, isn't it? In those games, you can be on top all you like. If you don't get yourself 2 or 3 goals up against a team like Chelsea, you're always liable for them to come back into it. Obviously, last season they did, but on Sunday they had no chance of dealing with what we were throwing at them. Terry says, who tried telling me Chelsea was a good team and it was going to be a close game? We all did, Terry, all of us. We all said it was going to be a close game because we all believed it would be. But we knew that you was confident, which is fair enough, isn't it? And Wayne says, I honestly don't rate Berger that much. Muzovic is much better, not just because of her World Cup and the fact I have a massive crush on her. Well, there you go. I mean, to be fair, I think Berger is maybe past her best now. I think, she's probably on the way down, isn't she? I think that's obvious. So I was quite pleased that I agree with you. I was pleased that Berger played because she sort of rotates the goalkeepers a little bit, doesn't she, Emma? She, Mosovic plays a few games, Katrina Berger plays a few games. They kind of switch a little bit. So I was quite pleased that was Berger's game, especially as it turned out, as you said, she didn't have a great game, did she? Because she made a couple of mistakes that gave us goals, which was nice. LG says Palova should be a guaranteed starter. Nobody is better using her upper body strength than her. No, I agree. I think she's almost made herself undroppable, hasn't she? The fact that she was picked against Chelsea when everyone else was fit tends to suggest that she is now a guaranteed starter, and I think you're right, and we need her in the team, there's no doubt about that. Terry says, to be fair, other than the Chelsea goal, we was absolutely spot on. Yeah, we were. We can't fault the performance, it was brilliant. Rendition says Palova is such a good ball carrier. She can turn defence into attack so quickly. Yeah, exactly what she done. Yeah, absolutely right. Jeffers says you're right. Vicky was so good. It shows that if she gets played consistently, she'll be out of this world. She reminds me of Cazorla. Yeah, she's got like Cazorla about. She's because she's got similar sort of build, isn't she? She's got that centre of gravity that Cazorla's got, 2-footed as well. So yeah, you can kind of see that. Rendition says anyone else notice Naomi Girma was at the game? Maybe we can put in a cheeky bid. Well, there's lots of transfer rumours going around at the minute. Terry says, does anyone still think Jonas, the Arsenal god, ain't the man for the job? Well, we haven't won anything yet. Well, apart from the Continental Cup, this season we haven't won anything yet. Let's not get too carried away, but I've never doubted him anyway. Greg says, Russo, only 24 and getting better every game. Exactly, yeah. She is. I must admit, at the start of the season, I wasn't totally convinced by her. I thought she was, working hard, but did she have enough end product? But recently she's been showing that, her performances have been incredible, and there's no way we can doubt her now, can we? And talking about incredible performances, look who's joining us. Emma, how you doing, my friend?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Sharing some of the sentiment from what's been said from the fans. It's been a good few days. We're coming from a jet lag, and it's great to be back. So, yeah.
Did you have a good holiday? That's the main thing.
That was really good, yeah. No, it was really good. It's hot. It was very hot, hectic and hot. So that was good, yeah.
Well, it's been freezing cold here, so we're glad you had a nice hot.
Well, it was 31 degrees last week in India, so it's 31. So yeah, it's hot.
Wow. Yeah. Well, we had snow when you was away at one point, so there you go. But anyway, we can't do anything about the weather, can we? It's not too bad at the minute, which is quite nice. Yeah. Obviously, I mean, so Chelsea was. Did you get to watch much of it? Because I know you were.
I did. It was actually a few hours after my plane landed. I got home about 7:15, and yeah, it was first thing. I was just going to rest. I just went to my bedroom and just watched the game. It was good, man. Yeah, it was really good.
Oh, fantastic! Well, what did you make of it all? Obviously, it was great. Wasn't it?
Remarkable. I mean, where do you start? So many talking points. I don't even know where to start, really. The first thing I'd say as well, first thing I mentioned is a performance. It was just magnificent from start to finish. And let's be honest, it could have been 7 or 8 if we'd been more clinical. But that's being a bit unkind because, we pressed them so high. It was reminiscent of that performance in the Conti Cup final in March. I mean, we just took it to the next level. Yeah. And, they all said Bev said the ball rolling, a magnificent bit of skill to sit down and leave 3 Chelsea players for dead and 5 into the top corner. I know she says I don't know why she says it. She says her left leg is for standing on, but if we had half the left leg that she had, I think we'd all be grateful. So yeah, so no, that was a great finish.
I would, and I'm left-footed, so there you go.
Oh, you're left foot. Oh, there you go. I mean, she says her left foot.
And even I'd like a left foot like Beth. It's not even as strong as one.
Yeah, and well, yeah, it was a bit disappointing the way they conceded a goal. I know they'd said Kerr was involved, but always those goals are always going to stand in this day and age because technology is not going to be there. And yeah, it wasn't great. Well, that's one thing we've got to be careful of going forward is to be caught like that because they were left massive gap in the midfield. It was a good finish from Bill Cannerid, who I think is a very underrated player. Then after that, we were just brilliant, absolutely superb from then onwards, and it was 1-0. That was 1-0. I can't even remember. Oh yeah, who scored the second goal? I'm struggling to remember now. I just forgotten for a second again.
Amanda.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah. No, we really get Amanda from a set piece. Yeah, of course. Had terrible marking. It's also Emma's reaction. I was priceless, just nodding, and then
it was
Oh,
I need to clip that actually. I need to clip that and play it every single game because it's brilliant.
I was priceless nodding her head, conceding from a corner. It was just poor defending, and then the third goal was just brilliant. What a pass from Leo Valti with a left foot, the rare assist for her, but the finish from Russo. It says shades of a certain French legend from down the years. That was just open up a body, just fired into corner, and that set the ball rolling. And after that, they really had no answer. They were restricted to efforts from long range, and yeah, I mean, and then the fourth goal, okay, is it or isn't it? Carter gets the ball, but then in the second play, you can understand why maybe it's not, but you can also understand at the same time why the referee's given it. And then, maybe who knows now, having missed a few penalties, maybe Kim ought to pass the baton over to Leslie and she starts taking the penalties from now on. Well, I don't know if she'll be having that, but let's see. No, it was good. It was a superb performance. And it was Chelsea's had this defeat, ironically, since we beat them 5-0 at Kingsmeadow 5 years ago. So that's good to know. Yeah, that's good to know. And that was the performance side of it. I mean, as for the other things, well, I don't know if we have time to discuss them. But there's so much that went on in that game that you could save it for a separate show. But first of all, the performance was great, and to blow them away again was brilliant. And now, having scored 16 goals, what is it, in the last 4 games, having only scored 8 in the first 5, we're hitting peak form at the right time. And Spurs had better watch out tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, that is the one thing at this moment in time, as Wayne says, we've got so much goals in this team. It's scary. All those forwards and goal scoring midfielders, plus Amanda with her headers. And don't forget Jen Beattie, of course. She pops up a goal the other night, which we'll talk about. But no, you're absolutely right. Jafar says, hey, Andreas, hope you're doing good. Now I understand why Jonas consistently starts Russo ahead of Stina. Strong on the ball, hard work, very good in the air, while Stina is an old school number 9. Yeah. I mean, I'm starting to. I mean, I love Stina, as you know, and I think she should have more minutes on the pitch. But I'm starting to see now Russo deserves to start because of their all-round. I'm not saying they both can't start because when they both started, generally we've won the game. They generally both score, so it can work with both of them. But obviously Russo is number 1 now, and you can see why. It's not only goals, and she's got 6 this season. Stina's got 7, so that there's not a lot in it in terms of how many goals they've scored. Yeah, Stina's had less minutes to get her goals, but I've got no issue with Russo start. I want to see Stina get more minutes on the pitch though, because I think she deserves it. She's always a threat. She should have scored against Chelsea. We know that. That's a big chance that she missed. Normally, I think she'd only just come on and she hadn't played for a couple of games because she'd been injured. I think she was just a little bit out of rhythm. Had she been playing a bit more regularly, I think she'd have scored that chance. But she's going to miss 1 or 2. Of course she is. You know what I mean? It's the way it goes. But I mean, I've got no issue with Russo starting now. I just want to see Stina playing more than she is. She came on 15 minutes to go against Chelsea. She could have come on earlier. We were 4-1 up. Bring her on earlier. That's what I would have wanted to have done. We're not going to question Jonas at the minute, are we? When after the run that we're on, let's not question him yet. But just Jonas, if you are watching, just give Stina a few more minutes. Bring her on a bit earlier. Bring her on a bit earlier because she's always going to score. We saw against Spurs the other night. She's always going to score. So just give her more time. That'd be great. LG says we have now leveled up on these big teams like Chelsea and Wolfsburg. I remember in the dark Joe Montemuro when we had a lot of good technical players, but often got bullied in the big games. Yeah, and I think we did in the first season under Jonas a little bit, didn't we? We got bullied in some of that area. Chelsea in the FA Cup final, Wolfsburg in the Champions League, Barcelona as well in that Champions League season. But you're right, we've changed that now. We've got some more physical players in the team. Obviously, Vicky that we've mentioned, she gives us that more physical presence in midfield, and you can see that we've addressed those issues. And I wouldn't fear us now. You know, I know we're not in the Champions League this season, but I wouldn't fear us playing anybody, even Barcelona now. I feel that we could give anyone a game. I'm not saying we beat them. I'm not necessarily saying we could beat Barcelona, but I wouldn't fear playing them in the way that maybe 2 years ago we knew when we played them in their group stage, we knew they're probably going to beat us twice, and we didn't think too much about it. Whereas now, I think we could really give them a game. And who knows? Hopefully next season we will play them, because I would like to get some revenge on them for those games that we played. But we'll see. Terry says, "Are you three going to tell me it's going to be close on Saturday?" We'll come on to Saturday.
I was saying to myself earlier, Terry's going to say it's going to be 10-0. You what?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, if we play that within against Chelsea, it's anyone's guess. Jeff says we really need to talk about Leah Walty. She reminds me of Edu. Very hardly spoken about, but she's so fundamental in that team. Yeah. I've never seen a player that beats press very comfortably on the ball. Yeah, I mean, obviously Matt, who he hasn't been on the show for a while. I know Leah Walty is his favourite player. So, I mean, I wouldn't say she's necessarily underrated, but yeah, she doesn't get spoken about as much as some of the other players in our team. I mean, Leah Walty she's a brilliant player. There's no doubt about that. And even more so, you notice it when last season, the season before in particular, when she was injured out of the team, we really missed her, and that shows how important a player she is. Now we've got maybe a stronger midfield option, so I'm not saying we don't miss her, but we're not going to miss her as much now. But she, I mean, Andreas, Leah Walty, she's incredible, isn't she? She's still doing it every week now, isn't she? Week in, week out.
I said it before. She had a great game, and not to forget, she was out with injury for 2 or 3 matches, and just was 1 match back, and then playing this big match against Chelsea, she was fantastic. And the way she controls the ball, I think she's the best holding midfielder in Europe, at least. This number 6 position she's playing, I don't see any better player in women's football in Europe. It's great to have her, and her experience. I mean, she's now I think the 5th year in the WSL. You see that she learned a lot, and I remember that she said she had her problems when Jonas came to adapt his style or what he wants from her, and you can see that she has improved in these 2.5 years with Jonas, and she was immense and so important for the match on Sunday. And I wanted to say one word to Alessia Russo, taking the responsibility for the penalty. This also shows how she is settled in the team and how her self-confidence has developed. Because you all remember she missed the penalty in the Champions League qualifiers.
Yes.
And now taking this responsibility when Kim was not on the field, it could have been Katie or. For a few moments, I thought Beth had taken the ball, and will Beth take the penalty? And then, stepping up and saying, "Oh, I feel that I can score, that I can make this penalty. Give me the ball." This very, very good sign for her self-confidence and for the way she's settled in the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Better.
And I mean, and the fact that she put it away with such confidence as well. You know, no goalkeeper was ever saving that right in the corner at that pace. It was a brilliant penalty, wasn't it? So, taking that responsibility was a big thing. I say Dan did put a question a bit earlier, so we'll bring that up now. He says, "Do you think Arsenal have knocked Chelsea off their high horse since their 0-0 draw in Europe yesterday?" Well, that's an interesting point, isn't it? I mean, obviously, a bad defeat like they suffered does knock your confidence, doesn't it? It's difficult to recover from that. You know, we've had it in the past ourselves when we've been beaten heavily, and it is difficult. And obviously, they didn't have the best game last night. They only drew, and a game they should have won. I mean, maybe it's going to be the end of an era anyway, isn't it? With Emma leaving at the end of the season, but is that end of an era coming a little bit sooner, maybe than we anticipated? I mean, Emma, what do you make of that? Do you think that maybe this defeat against us has really knocked the stuffing out of Chelsea, and they might find it difficult to recover?
Well, you know what they're like. I know they referred to mentality once. You don't think they'll go on a bad run. I know it was a bit surprising. They failed to score. When's the last time they failed to score at home in any game? But yeah, they've had a few like that. Yeah, they've had a few results like that, haven't they, in the past? But they don't make it consistent. The thing is, why have they been champions for 4 years? Because they always find a way to win. The thing is, the Bristol away on Sunday will be a test of where they're at. It's only 3 days to recover from that game, and I'm thinking if we can be big tomorrow and put the pressure on them, I wouldn't put it past Bristol. Bristol have been impressive this season. They've shown plenty of fight. I don't think they're going to roll over and make that easy for Chelsea on Sunday as well. So I wouldn't say whilst to say it's maybe a bit too early to say we've knocked them off the high horse. How would I say it? We'll have to wait and see because then they got a Christmas break after that, and it remains to be seen. They're all more than capable of going on a run and doing what they do best. But I mean, it's good to see that maybe they are not as invincible as everyone thought, and it remains to be seen what happens. As I said, the Bristol won't be an easy game for them, and we'll see what happens after Christmas break. Will they look to sign anybody in the January transfer window as well? Who knows? But it certainly shaken things up and shows. Even I said last week, you could see with the defence that even though they've been blowing teams away, they were still vulnerable at the back, and we showed against us. I had a feeling. I said 2-1, possibly even 3-1, and it could have easily been more, but it remains to be seen. But certainly, it's good to see them at least that they're going through a testing period, which you haven't often been able to say over the last few seasons, really.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, from our point of view, we'd love it to be the end of the Chelsea dominance because, they've had it their own way far too long. And we've been in their shadows a little bit for the last few years, not obviously historically, but certainly in more recent years. So the sooner that comes, the better, as far as I'm concerned. I do feel as though Emma announcing her retirement at the time that she has would have caused some sort of unsettling inside the club. I'm sure it would have done. It must have done, with the players, with the coaching staff and everybody else. I do feel as though that's maybe done us a little bit of a favour. And I also feel as though what she's going to want to do, Emma, she's going to want to win the Champions League before she goes, I think. And they're going to throw everything into that. And that might mean they may become a little bit more vulnerable in some WSL games, which might help us. The FA Cup might help us to win the trophies that we want to try and win. So, but let's see what happens. But you're right, absolutely right, Emma. Bristol City won't be easy because they gave us a tough game. They have been very competitive, and Chelsea are coming into that game on the back of 2 disappointing performances, disappointing results. Maybe the Christmas break might help them because they've got a chance to regroup. If they were playing game after game on a bad run, they've got the Christmas break. It might have come at a good time for them, perhaps, or it might actually be a bad time for them because, they might come back even worse. But it's going to be interesting, though, isn't it? Because in January, if they're going to buy players, they're going to be players that Emma wants. Emma's not going to be here after the end of the season. So that's going to be, who can they buy and what's their transfer policy going to be in January if they're going to buy anyone at all? Because if a player's joining Chelsea or are interested in joining Chelsea, they're going to be meeting Emma and Emma's not going to be there for very long. It almost seems like, I don't know, it'd be a strange time to join Chelsea, I think, as a player. Because of that, the fact they don't know who the new manager is going to be. Are they going to fit into the new manager's plan? You don't know, do you? It's very unsettling. So I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do much in January, actually, which again might be in our favour, and maybe that's going to be something that we can enjoy because, the Chelsea downfall would be quite something to behold, right, from our point of view. We would quite enjoy that.
But I thought the funniest, I thought the funniest thing from the other day was when, honestly, not only. The funniest thing I also found from the other day, not only just Emma's look, but did you see when interviewed afterwards, said, "What's the best part about today's game?" And she goes, "Oh, I've only got a 20-minute drive home." That was just so funny, so funny.
That was
I wonder who arranged a cab home from her. Was it our great shining knight Jonas? Who knows? But anyway, it was quite funny to hear that. No, you don't often see it like that, but no, she was absolutely just shell shocked almost at the way we. She acknowledged, though, to her credit, she was very humble and honest about what she said. But she's always very humble and honest. We'll definitely miss her. But no, it's good to at least finally get a couple over after all the dominance that she's had over us. But no, that was definitely the funniest bit of the game.
That was good.
Just how they were hurt by this match, by this result, or the way they lost. The self-confidence. And as you said, Richard, of course, Emma's big aim is to win the Champions League. But they had not the best start to their group, and they were under pressure against Häcken yesterday. At home, they should win against this team. Yes. And then you have this 1-4 against a big team in the WSL, and now you must win in Champions League. And they didn't score. I saw the highlights. They had a lot of chances. Of course, they were the better team. It looked as if they had more more control over the match, but they didn't score. And if players like Sam Kerr or Frank Kirby or so, don't score for a few matches, then their self-confidence is lacking a bit. And don't forget, they are missing Millie Bright in defense.
Very true. Very true.
No, we are missing Leah Williamson, but yeah, to be honest, this is a big player for them. And if they miss Millie Bright, they are not so organized in defense. Yeah, this is also always one more small thing. Yeah, bad start in Champions League. Now lost 1-4 against Arsenal. The pressure in Champions League, lacking self-confidence, missing Millie Bright. So Emma Hayes is leaving. She's maybe a bit thinking a new job. She was during the last international break. She was in the US to meet her new team. It's so a lot of small things that are helping us.
Yes, definitely.
Exactly. Yeah, I say I think there's a few issues going on at Chelsea. You know, the fact that Emma's leaving as well, the reasons for her leaving are quite significant as well. And yeah, I think maybe it's time for Chelsea to say goodbye to winning trophies, and we're just going to take
you bet, mate. You bet.
And we're going to go on and win all the trophies that they've been winning for the last few years. Greg says Chelsea are overconfident. They believe they're better than what they are. Man City should have beaten them as well. Yeah, well, Man City should have beaten them because, you know, they had 9 players in that game and they played about 25 minutes of stoppage time until Chelsea scored. So, yeah, they should have lost to City. Obviously, we've absolutely hammered them. And, yeah, they're nowhere near the dominant force that they were. Yeah. But they've only lost 1 game. Let's not get too excited. They've only lost 1 game. You know, we're only level on points with them. So if they're this terrible team, what does that make us when they're still ahead of us on goal difference or whatever it is? So, you know, we need to keep our feet on the ground a little bit. But yes, it does look as though the Chelsea downfall is maybe starting now, and it might take a little while to actually really kick in. But the good news is we're there now. We've got this magnificent squad of players. We're playing some amazing football, and we're ready to take on, you know, and if whatever happens this season, if we do win the WSL, if we win all 3 trophies, for example, and, you know, I don't want people to say, oh, it's only because Chelsea were in this issue with Emma leaving. No, we would deserve it. We've won with the football that we're playing at this moment if we carry that on. And with the squad that we've got, you know, we'll be doing it on our own merits. It won't be nothing to do with Chelsea not being as good as they were. It'll be us stepping up a level and showing how good that we are. And I think that we need to make sure we don't lose track of that and don't just like blame Chelsea not being as good. You know, it's because of how good we are. That's the same on Sunday. Chelsea didn't play very well, but they weren't allowed to play very well because of how well we played. And that, to me, is the thing. You know, I don't want to look at, oh, well, Chelsea were bad, that's why we won. No, we won.
Absolutely not.
We look bad because of how well that we played.
Just one other thing I thought I'd raise on that. I think for the first time as well, I think for the first time it's been thinking about this all week. I think for the first time in a few years, it's evident to me that I think our squad, player for player, is actually, for the first time you could say in a few years, is actually better than Chelsea's now. Having seen the Conti Cup final, having seen even the games we lost to them last season, we still played really well even with all the injuries. And that Sunday was a culmination of that. And you could see the frustrations boiled over. Okay, I know a lot of people will say, okay, Lauren James shouldn't have been racially abused, but she was very lucky not to be sent off for that challenge on Leah Velti. That was boiling over. That was the frustrations boiling over from that game. She's done it in the World Cup. The referee, if that had been seen by technology, she might have been sent off. I don't condone. I'll never condone racism. I'll never ever condone racial abuse of a player. That's just plain wrong. And Leah Velti acknowledged it in a tweet that I saw from her yesterday. But you can see they have that in them, and also the fact that we managed to keep their super sub, for example, Aggie Beaver-Jones on the bench as well, was testament to Iones's tactics. So there is definitely, whilst there's a shift in momentum, and you can never rule Chelsea out, it's fair to say that now the momentum is with us, and now we have to just keep it going.
That's what we've got to do. Yeah, we've got to keep it going. That's key now. You know, we can't afford to let this slip. You know, we've got, as you said, yes, it's a shame the Christmas break's coming to spoil our momentum a little bit. We've got one more game first before that, but you know, yeah, you're absolutely right. And I mean, yeah, Lauren James has got that. You're right. She has got that temperament issue, hasn't she? You know, as you said in the World Cup. I mean, what she did to Leah Velti on Sunday was, you know, there's no real excuse for that, is there? There was no reason for her to do that other than it was just sheer frustration. And she could have really injured her badly. And, you know, that's not acceptable. Yes, no one should, that shouldn't mean that everyone's right to give her abuse online and stuff like that. No, of course they're not, but she needs to understand that she can't go around behaving like that on the pitch. It's not acceptable to do that. The World Cup, she got punished and it cost her a couple of games in the World Cup, and it should be costing her a couple of games in the WSL as well, because she should have got a red card for that. Really, that was not a nice thing at all. And fair play to Leah Walty actually for coming out and defending her, because Leah Walty was the one on the end of that challenge that could have got a serious injury, and luckily she didn't. But yeah,
it's funny. Aggie Beavers was also on the receiving end of a challenge when she was with Everton last season. Now she's at Chelsea as well. So there you go.
I bet they've had some fun in training, haven't they?
Yeah. Anyway, we kept them we're on great form.
Yeah.
That's what matters, man.
Terry says Salty knows the tide was turning last season. Well, I think she started to feel that it might have been. Absolutely, but let's wait and see. Let's not get carried away quite yet. The downfall hasn't quite happened yet. It looks like it's just in the very early stages. Jaffa says, with all that being said, I still think we need left backs and centre backs. We are a little bit short in that area, especially how we have been conceding goals. I don't think we should spend big on Earps. I mean, you've got to remember Leah Williamson, is coming back soon, probably February. So that's one of these centre back situations sorted out, isn't it? I think Amanda and Lotta are good. I think they're starting to get a good partnership. We saw it the other night against Tottenham, which we'll talk about in a minute, that maybe the backup centre-backs, I mean, I think Leah is a new player and he's starting to settle in, but that is an issue. But I think we're covered when Leah's back, so I'm not overly concerned about that. We've got two good left-backs, Steph and Katie can play there, not a worry there at all. The right-back's a bit of a problem in terms of Noel Moritz, and then Katie McKay's having to play right-back, not a natural position. Laura's not going to be back for a while. So maybe a temporary right back might be something in January, but I'm not overly concerned about defensively. I mean, talk about Mary Earps. I mean, Wayne says there, is it true about Mary Earps to Arsenal in January? No, I don't think it is. And the reason why I'm saying it is Tim Stillman is normally very reliable at these things, has basically said, as far as he's aware, there's no movement on that in January. So I'm kind of tending to think that, Tim's normally right about most things like that. So I would say no, not for January, end of the season. There's talk of us buying that Wolfsburg goalkeeper now, isn't there, actually? Rose, whether that's actually real or not, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, we've got Rajandra in the chat. He says, hi, well, I'm at the match tomorrow. Oh, fantastic. That's going to be great. Booked as a Tottenham Hotspur member, as I did last year, is saved on the record. So even the Tottenham, well, make sure that when we score, you'll have to cheer and make sure they know that you're an Arsenal fan. I'm sure you'll be fine. That looks good, actually. I mean, what a great game to go to as well at the Tottenham Hotspur stuff. We won there last time we played. I'm sure we can win it again. Not a problem at all. Lee's giving us £2 as well. Thank you very much, Lee. Much appreciated. Hope we smoke Spurs tomorrow. Yes, indeed. Well, we're all hoping that, and I'm sure we will. We'll talk about that game in a bit as well. Majendra says, got to get better seat for £25. Only £25. Why? You'd be right up in the. You should be getting free, like you should get the Andreas treatment there with your
Andreas treatment
bag and that, shouldn't you? If you're paying £25. There you go. Terry says, Ian Magenda, late twice in the same week. Come on, mate. Well, he was late the other night, but, we let him off. He's been buying his ticket for Tottenham. That's fine. He's allowed to be late for that, isn't he? That's absolutely fine. Terry says, it can't be true Earps to Arsenal in January because there's no way Andreas will be able to keep that news. Exactly, yeah. I mean, if Andreas doesn't know it's happening, it's not happening, is it? Let's be honest. So there you go. Jafar says, I absolutely agree with you guys. We made Chelsea look absolutely awful. We bullied them in every area. The only highlight I saw from Sam Kerr was her confrontation.
Oh, yeah, that was funny.
Yeah,
she was holding up the score in the window. I don't know how many trophies it was. She was holding up how many we'd scored.
No, I thought that was how many touches she got in the game, because I don't think she got more than 4, did she? So I think she's still in Amanda's back pocket now, I think. Anyway, so I don't know what she was laughing about, really, because, she got absolutely bossed in that game.
I love the banter. She's great, though. I love the banter.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's fair play to her. I mean, she was outside the Arsenal pub and everyone was giving her some sticks, I suppose.
Yeah, she held up 4 like that. She's holding up how much we'd scored. She's telling us how many we'd scored. She was telling us how many.
That's what I thought it was. Yeah, I was saying how many touches she'd got in the game.
I think she wanted to say that they won 4 titles in a row, but
nobody saw it like that. Yeah. You can't put 4 fingers up when we've just gone 4 past you. You know what I mean? That's just not going to work, is it? It's just not going to work. But anyway, I mean, it's all good fun, isn't it?
Emma's face, the £20 for the taxi home, and then that, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, it was a good day all round, wasn't it? Really, it was a good day all round. Now, of course, after the high of Sunday, the brilliant performance, everything else that went with that game, we had to find ourselves back down to earth on Wednesday in the Continental Cup, which was actually an important game. We needed to win. A lot of changes to the team, and in the end, it turned out to be quite an exciting evening. Obviously, I put the picture of Jen Beattie's penalty on just for Terry, really, so he could see Jen Beattie putting that penalty, and of course, the winning penalty in the end, penalty shootout it was. I mean, it was a strange game in many ways, because I kind of agree with Jonas when he said he thought overall it was a good performance. We just made some poor mistakes defensively and conceded some really bad goals, and then we had to make it 10 times more difficult for us to get the result that we needed. But we showed great character, and we could, again, a bit like Chelsea, we could have scored 7 or 8 goals with the chances that we created. Tottenham defended quite well, to be fair. They put their bodies on the line to block shots and get in the way and all that kind of stuff. But we certainly dominated the game. We were just made to punish and for the mistakes. And again, I think it's because, Leia's a new player. She's still settling in. She's had a little injury issue. We know, as much as we love Jen, Terry, don't get the ump. We love Jen, but, she's maybe does lack a little bit of pace. I thought she was at fault for 2 of the goals, or she could have done better with 2 of the goals, certainly. So, and that's just the way it is with Jen Beattie, isn't it? That's just the situation that she is. But she's not going to play much in the WSL unless we're really short in terms of injuries. She's going to come in for these sort of games, which is good. I mean, she redeemed herself for the mistakes with that brilliant penalty at the end. But yeah, and I wasn't overly concerned, because that isn't a defence that's going to be playing very often together, is it? So I wasn't. I mean, obviously, Andreas, we don't want to concede 3 goals to Tottenham. We don't want to even give them a point, a draw. We wanted to beat them, but I wasn't too concerned about the goals that we conceded, because it wasn't a main defence, was it? So, I mean, what did you make of it overall? Because I thought we did play pretty well, didn't we, overall? We could have scored a lot of goals.
In the end, you must say, job done. We needed to win or a draw and the extra point from penalties, and we did it. So the table looks good, and we now only have to beat Reading to win our group, and then we are through to the quarterfinals. So, yeah. In the end, it was okay, but as last time I said, the 10 changes, it's too much. It was, in fact, it was a new team, and a team that has never played together in this combination, and this was what you could see. And the defensive errors or the weakness in defense, you can't say anything against the players. Leia Godina hasn't got a lot of minutes so far due to reason of injury or not having settled in. And as a defender, as a centre back, you need to play minutes with your other defenders, with your partners in centre back or with the goalkeeper. And so, this is difficult. And we know the pace problems from Jen. We know this, and it's okay, but conceding 3 goals against Spurs is too much. Fortunately, we scored 3, and in winning the shootout, it gave us the 1 point we needed to win the group if everything goes normal. So players got minutes who normally don't play or get only few minutes in the WSL, so it was okay. If it was a Champions League group stage match, I don't think that Jonas could have changed 10 positions for such a match. So it's good to be in Conti Cup this year. I mean, Viv got her first start. We saw that she needs more minutes. She needs to be back on the pitch, back in the team. We know what she can do and how important she can be, but she has still a way to go. I think Beth is far ahead of her in this rehab situation. But it's good to give Viv a start after a year. And there are other players like Kyra who started again, and Chloe could start. So it was good to give them minutes, but I think 10 changes was too much, and so you couldn't expect the best performance. But we've done it, and now we will play our best team tomorrow, and then everything looks different. I hope so.
I mean, you're right. I mean, 10 changes is a lot of changes to make. Yeah, but the way I looked at it was, and yes, I before the game, I was concerned about the defence, obviously, with the fact that they haven't played together before, and I was a little bit concerned about that. But what I saw basically what was essentially our second 11, if you like, our reserve team, if you want to put it like that, and using an old school kind of phrase. But
Yeah.
what I looked at I looked at that team that we started on Wednesday, and I thought that team's good enough to finish in the top 2 or 3 in the WSL, and that's our second team. They are good enough to finish. You look at the attack that we've got. Chloe Lacatz, brilliant player. Stina Blackstenius will score goals, as she's proven. She's a first-team player, really. Chloe Lacatz is as well. You know what I mean? Yeah, Viv needs minutes, yes, but I mean, we know what a brilliant player Viv is. She's going to get better with more minutes. We know that it wasn't her greatest game. I'm sure she'll admit that herself. She's not looking sharp enough yet for match play. So, but that's a great front three there, isn't it? In midfield, Katarina Cole gave the ball away, but she showed some nice as well. She's a bit young, still learning. She's a bit raw, isn't she? So she's going to get, obviously, Kyra. She'll walk into most teams in the WSL. Let's be honest, she's a fantastic player. Absolutely brilliant. So we've got no concerns about her, have we? Frida Marnham, always good for a goal. She's a starter quite often as well. You know what I mean? And this is our second team. This is our second. And these are all players that are top quality players. You know what I mean? Yes, defensively we have got some issues there, the depth wise at the moment. Leah Williamson back's going to help with that. But I think if Leah Cadina's playing with, say, Lotta or with Leah Williamson, not a problem. I think if Jem Beattie's playing with Leah Williamson, not really a big problem. A slight issue maybe on that, but not a major problem. You play Leah Cadina and Jem Beattie together, that's a problem. But that's not going to happen very often. So I'm not worried about that in particular. I thought everyone else in the team, I thought that for a second 11, that's a strong second. Yeah, we should have beat Tottenham, and they what, 5th in the WSL, 5th or 6th, whatever it is, and we should have won that game without those defensive mistakes. So I actually thought, what I thought from that game was, we've got 2 teams that could be in the top 3 and get in the Champions League. We've got 2 starting 11s that are good enough to do that, I think, with those players. We just, made some silly mistakes. And if you do that against some decent players, Jessica Naz had a great game, took her goals really well. Yeah, Martha Thomas is always going to score, isn't she? She's top scorer at WSL. So, you can't allow those sort of players those chances because they will take them. And they did. But yeah, I came out with that feeling actually what a strong squad we've got, rather than looking at it, okay, yeah, some of them goals were terrible. They were, absolutely. But as you rightly say, Andreas, we're going to hopefully see a different 11 tomorrow, and it should lead to a slightly better defensive performance anyway. We'll score goals, no problem. But yeah, we should be a little bit more solid defensively, certainly. LG says there, Cole needs a loan to a lesser WSL side. I don't see her getting in the main starting 11 soon. No, she's not going to get in the main starting 11 soon. Absolutely, she won't do, because look at the competition that there is. Kim Little, Vicky Pelova, obviously Leah Balti that we mentioned already. She's not going to get in ahead of any of them, is she? She's not. But yeah, I don't know about. I'd like to keep her in the squad though, because I think she's learning a lot with us. I'd like to keep her. Yeah, she could do with playing more minutes. I agree, and maybe that's what we're looking at. But I don't know. Terry says we picked up a lot of our girls tonight, but what a player Kyra Cooney-Cross looks. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, every time she plays, she's pretty much player of the match. It's always give it to her before we start. Every single week, it's the same. She is brilliant. There's no doubt. She settled in amazingly quickly, and she's still only young. She's 21, is she? Something like that. I think 21. Yeah, incredible. Yeah. But anyway, Regina says there, it shows that she needs match practice and 20 minutes per game when we have one. Yeah, talking about Viv. Yeah, she does, absolutely. She needs minutes, yeah. Sometimes, though, it's difficult, isn't it? I think with Viv, I think the match circumstances dictate whether or not you can bring her off the bench or not, I think, at the minute. But yeah, she's going to start the Continental Cup games. She'll get minutes in. I mean, hopefully she'll get some minutes tomorrow at Tottenham. But when she comes back in January, I'm sure we'll start to see her play more and more minutes, involving herself more, and I'm sure she'll get back to a top form as Beth done. Terry said, "Cool, looked good in the first half, but yeah, in the second half, well, she gave away that goal at the start of the second half, and I think that knocked her confidence a bit, didn't it? Perhaps after that." Wayne says, yeah, that pass from Thomas to break 2 lines for Naz was a great assist. Still feel like we could have dealt with it. Yeah, exactly. We could have dealt with it better. Yeah, in the build up to that as well. On both of those 2 goals actually. Jessica Naz had a decent game, took the goals well, but yeah, we should have defended them better. Greg says, after we're 4-0 up at half time tomorrow, Viv could get 45 minutes. Well, potentially. Let's hope we are 4-0 up at half time. Well, that'd be good, wouldn't it? I mean, Emma, what did you make of the Tottenham game in midweek? Because obviously we did just, as Andrea said, we got the job done we needed to do in the most dramatic way possible. But I wasn't too bothered really about. I thought we played well, and we're not going to make those mistakes very often, are we?
I know it was a much change lineup, and as you say, it's not a centre back pair you're going to see too often. I did expect a lot of changes. It was just going to bring on the guys the could almost call. I don't know how we'd refer it to. It's almost like our front four is just so reliable. I mean, it's as good a front four as we have. But it's still good to get one over them. It would still have been, no matter how you still don't want to lose to them, even if it's a cup game. I know, of course, tomorrow is going to be even bigger. But no, it wouldn't have as much bearing as tomorrow on it. But no, it was always good to get one over them. The goals we gave were sloppy. I know. I did see the second half. I watched the highlights back yesterday. They were good going forward and chances. Katie McCabe almost scored absolutely yet another banger. Yeah, I know. I saw forward goalkeeper and a brilliant save.
What a goal that would have been, by the way.
That would have been, I think, the pick of the bunch for the ones he scored for us this season. Kyra's delivery from set pieces is great. Who knows? Maybe we found a better right-sided set piece taker than Beth, who whips it in from the left, or from Kyra from the right, Beth from the left. So it's good. Rather gives us options. Along with Steph whipping it in from the left, or even from corner kicks as well. So no, it was good to see. As you said, the centre back pairing, which we won't see very often. A bit frustrating with the goals they conceded, but they always showed fight. They always looked like they were going to get back into that game. And yeah, it was good to get one over them in the shootout. And whilst there's absolutely no bearing on tomorrow's game, it means that hopefully we won't have to rely on being one of the 2 best runners up in Group 2 by getting the bonus point. We won't have to rely on being one of the best 2 runners up to qualify for the quarterfinals, and to win the group is always nice. So yeah, it was good to get one over them, and hopefully we hope, like last season and previous matches, that our bomb squad, as I like to call them, with the players we have up front now, is going to do the job for us tomorrow. So yeah, it'll be good, but it's always good to get one over them.
Oh, it is, yeah. And the fact that it's almost like, it's almost like we were saying at the top, look, it's all right, we'll give you some goals, it's fine, we'll still beat you. We'll let you have some goals as well, just for fun. That's what it felt like a little bit, didn't it? And then we come out every time they score, it's like, we'll go and get one. Stina scored straight away after they scored, then they scored a second one, and we went up the other end and got another one. It's like, okay, whatever, we'll just let you score, it's fine. But obviously we won't tomorrow. Tomorrow's more serious, isn't it? We're going to obviously take that more seriously. LG says, this might seem crazy to some people, but I strongly believe that the Arsenal women's team is pound for pound far better than the men's team. See, I actually 1,000,000% agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. You look at the squad that we've got, and we'll just put it this way, right? To maybe make LG's point even more strongly, if Arsenal men's team were to make 10 changes to their starting lineup, would they be capable of getting a 3-3 draw against anybody? No, they'd lose probably.
Well, you saw what happened against West Ham in the Cup, I suppose. So it's a fair point.
Exactly. Whereas Arsenal women can make 10 changes. We're playing a WSL team. They're not, they're not a terrible team, Tottenham. They're a decent enough team, and we should have won the game, and we would have won the game for 1 or 2 slightly better defensive decisions. But yeah. Arsenal men's team, when we played the other night in a game that didn't even matter, he made 4 or 5 changes to the team, and we still struggled. Imagine got a much better squad. No question. Yes, it's different. The game's different. The money's different. All that kind of stuff. We understand all that, the contract situation, everything else, right? You can't really compare them. But I 100% agree. At this moment in time, the women's team, I wouldn't even say miles better in terms of squad depth. That squad depth for the women's team is sorted. The men are still short. We are still we're on the bench. We're short of
especially going forward. Definitely, there's no question. The men's team definitely needs a striker. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Rajendra says it's Spurs' way of getting more supporters for their team by only releasing 3,500 tickets for Arsenal itself. It does seem crazy that we'll have to look at the Tottenham game tomorrow. But yeah, the fact they only give Arsenal 3,500 tickets, we could have sold 15,000.
3,500. What? Really?
Yeah. In the little away section, the Premier League away section in the corner, that's where the Arsenal fans are. But it's like, we could have sold 15,000 or more. Let us sell what we can sell, because they're not going to sell out, are they? The ground's going to be half empty. And whereas we could have filled all those seats if they'd given us that whole section behind that goal, the upper tier as well, all of it. We'd have sold that out, and they'd have got another 10,000, 15,000 fans in the stadium. Why didn't they do that? Crazy. Anyway, we don't care. We don't want to give them money, do we? We need to worry about ourselves. Jaffo says, I don't agree with loaning Katrina Kuhl. We have literally been begging for squad depth. Now we have quality depth all over the pitch. The fact that we came back 3 times with a second team says it. Oh, no, I agree. I wouldn't loan Katrina Kuhl just because I think she's learning a lot where she is. But she does need to play more minutes for her own benefit as well. Anyway, Vijendra says a ticket is so much better value for the women's team. I can get a better seat as well. Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing as well, isn't it? At the moment, the ticket prices for the football that you get, it's not even a comparison, is it? You know, I would actually pay more money to watch the women's team than I would to watch the men's team. I would actually pay more to watch the women. I would, because it's much more enjoyable. But yeah, the price of the tickets. So I almost feel like I almost feel bad for only paying, say, 12 quid for a ticket to watch Arsenal women at the Emirates. I almost feel bad about paying that little because it's worth a lot more. But anyway, there you go. LG says, don't forget 2 seasons ago we were flying in the league, then we unnecessarily drew with Spurs 1-1. Yes, when Viv scored that goal, you're right, we did. I think we're a different team now. I think we're a different animal now, and I can't see us making that mistake tomorrow. Well, we'll see, it's possible, but I can't see us making that mistake. Greg says Spurs played virtually their best 11 against us. Yeah, they did. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. We were always playing with them, weren't we? Here you go, score a few goals, get you some confidence for the weekend, and then we'll go and rip them to pieces. Wayne says, I think the women's team is more equipped to win the league than the men's. Yeah, and I think you have to bear in mind as well, obviously, in the men's team, there is that Manchester City team that are quite good, you know, so it's a lot more difficult. Yes, the Chelsea team in the women's game are good as well, but, you know, they've won the league 4 times in a row. But I agree. I do think the women's team, with the squad that we've got, we're much better equipped to win trophies than the men's team currently. I 100% agree with it. I don't think there's any question about that. Rendition says, imagine being outnumbered by your rival fans in your home ground. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's probably why they didn't want to sell us any more tickets, because they maybe feared that was going to be the case. The Denver says their Spurs also had our academy players. Yeah, they've got 1 or 2, yeah. Jessica Naz used to play for the Arsenal academy. That's right, yeah. She played for the first team as well, didn't she? A couple of games back in the early career. So, you know, we've beaten Spurs once. Well, we kind of beat them, I suppose. We'll take it as a win, won't we? 4-3, we'll call it. So we've beaten them once this week, and we're hopefully going to beat them twice this week, because we are playing them again tomorrow, as we said, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So I'll say this is the more important game of the 2. The WSL game, we have to win, obviously, having beaten Chelsea. The fact that Chelsea are playing Sunday as well means we've got the chance to go top tomorrow. Not only can we go to Tottenham and win, we can go to Tottenham and win and go 3 points at the top of the table at the same time. Yeah. So there's that added kind of extra bit to it as well. Not that we'll need any extra incentive, I'm sure. Tottenham, we shouldn't do, should we? Let's be honest. Now, obviously, with terms of the team, obviously there's going to be changes from Wednesday night. Several changes, I would imagine. Do you think, Andreas, he's going to go with 10 changes again and pick the Chelsea team against Tottenham, or will there be maybe 1 or 2 keep their place from the other night that maybe deserve it? You know, Kyra Cooney-Cross is the most obvious one to start, maybe. I mean, what do you think the team will be? Because we've got so many options, it's almost impossible to pick a team, isn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult to say which 11 is our best 11, but anyway, who is playing, it doesn't matter. They will be motivated. It's the last match before Christmas break and the chance to go top of the table and to put pressure on Chelsea. For the first time in this season, really put pressure on Chelsea that they must win in a difficult situation on Sunday when they are 3 points behind us. And we should really grab this chance. I think Kim Little won't start. She had slight problems, but when I read correct, then it's not a serious thing, as Jonas said. But I don't think she'll start. So probably Kyra will keep her place. Leah, Kyra, and Vicky in midfield. I think changes in defense. Yeah, we will start with Lotta and Amanda again. I'm pretty sure. And probably Katie on right back and Steph on left back if she's fit. Yeah, and and the attacking line, Caitlin, Leslie, and Beth. Yeah. But it's difficult to say
Very, very.
the other players are. You have to start from the bench. It's so much quality in the team, but don't underestimate the opponents. Spurs, yeah, they won self-confidence with scoring 3 goals against Arsenal. For them, it doesn't matter in the first line that it was the number 2 team or the B team from Arsenal. They scored three goals away at Arsenal. So they will say, oh, why shouldn't we score 1, 2, or maybe 3 goals at home? And maybe Beth England is coming in. She was on the bench after her long injury break. She's always good for a goal. Yeah, don't underestimate them, but grab the chance to go top of the table. And yeah, it would be fantastic to have another decent win like the one against Chelsea. This would be great. But yeah.
Go on. What's the score prediction? What's the score prediction, Andreas?
Prediction is 3-1.
We're 3-1.
We're always good for conceding 1 goal. And,
Right.
yeah, clean sheet was an exception of the rule against was it Brighton or what? When we
Brighton and West Ham, it was. There was two.
Clean sheet. No, we will concede 1, but we are strong enough to score at least 3 goals, even if it's away. So I say 3-1 for us, and yeah, that would be really okay. Job done. Being top of the table, I would be satisfied with this.
Absolutely. I mean, I always say the same thing. Any win will do me. 1-0, I'll take. I'm not bothered as long as we get 3 points. Because yes, goal difference is a factor, but I don't think it's going to come down to goal difference this season if we win enough games. So let's just win the games. But yeah, I mean, yeah, 3-1 would be decent. I kind of agree that we may well concede a goal just because they've got some goal scorers, Tottenham, haven't they? You said Beth England is a threat. Martha Thomas has scored a lot of goals this season, so they've got a goal in them, Tottenham, haven't they? They definitely have, and we do tend to concede quite often. So yeah, you imagine Tottenham will score, but we should have far too much going forward. Not only with the team that starts the game, but what we've got on the bench as well. As we already mentioned, that some of them played the other night. It's incredible the depth that we've got. So yeah, I would say that you're probably right. Jeff says, I played the same team against Chelsea. The only change would be Cooney Cross. But yeah, I've got a feeling that's probably what will end up, how it'll end up being, if I'm honest. But, who knows with Jonas? He throws a few things in sometimes too. Come on, Andreas.
Yeah.
I knew Terry would think it was a little bit conservative, but anyway, we're not that. But look, Greg's going big. Greg says we'll win 7-1. Have faith. Wow, 7-1. That'd be magnificent, wouldn't it? Let's see if that happens. Rendition says 8-0 goal difference padding. Well, again, that would be great as well. But it's a North London derby, and however much better than Tottenham we are, and we know we're a better team than them by quite a mile. It's still a North London derby. It's still away from home. And I still think that it's not going to be quite as easy as it'd be nice to win 8-0, but I personally don't think it will be quite as easy as that when it comes down to it, because it never is. Games are more difficult than you think. So Emma, what are you making of this game tomorrow? And obviously we should win. We need to win, and we should win fairly comfortably. But North London derbies can be difficult games to predict sometimes, can't they?
They can, but you have to. They were doing well until, let's say, a couple of weeks ago. I mean, look, everyone thought they would turn the corner, but then you look at the last 2 results. They conceded 7 at Man City. They could not handle Bunny Shaw, and they didn't look like scoring. Against Manchester United, they were bright in patches. Again, they scored that they were found wanting, and ultimately they couldn't handle Mallard. They couldn't handle Elatoon, handle Nikita Paris ever, and I think they're just going to struggle to handle. If we handle Beth and Leslie and Caitlin and Vicky, if she plays well, they're just all in sync right now. And you see, it's concerning. They've conceded 11 goals. I know they took us rather deep in midweek, but I feel that if we can be a bit more clinical, we can absolutely take them to town. And it was 9 goals last season, 5-1 away, 4-0 at home this season. In the past, we've been a 5-1 in the cup. And yeah, I know they're an improving side, but I really feel like a big scoreline. It's not like me to predict this, but I feel a big scoreline coming tomorrow. I think we could beat them 6-1 tomorrow.
Oh, 6-1. Wow, Emma's going big.
I'm confident because I was playing
fantastic.
fantastic. They can't
Well, I mean,
handle the
Rajendra
physicality.
agrees with you there. Rajendra's going to think our midweek game we should win 6-1. Well, there you go. So Rajendra agrees with you.
I think 6-1.
So, I mean, to be honest with you, I think you're right in the sense that we know we're much better than them individually and as a team collectively. And they have had a couple of poor results, haven't they, in the last couple of league games, as you mentioned. You know, they've had a couple of big beatings, and you do feel as though if we go 1-0 up reasonably early, then it could be a long afternoon for them, couldn't it? Actually, and we could score a lot of goals, absolutely. But you know, I'm always a little bit. I'm always a little bit. I wouldn't say worried about away games, but I think when you play away from home, it's a lot more difficult. You know, Bristol City made it difficult for us. You know, we got the job at Brighton done late on again. It was 1-0 for ages, wasn't it? Until the last 5 minutes or so. So, you know, I expect the away games to be difficult because they generally are. And I'm not expecting this to be any less difficult because it's Tottenham. In fact, it might be more difficult in some of those ones. But, yeah, of course, we should win. And if we can get an early goal, then we could score a lot, I agree. I'm not quite as confident as Amar. I'm not quite as confident as some of the predictions in the chat. I might be slightly more confident, Andrew. I'm going to go 4-1. I think we'll win 4-1 because I do think we've got so much quality in that attacking third of the field that Tottenham won't be able to live with that. But yeah, I think we will give them a go at some stage just because that's what we do, don't we? Defos says there that background team photo from Andreas deserves a treble. It is a very nice photo. It's the latest team photo. Very nice indeed. It is. I'm absolutely right. Where are we? LG says Vicky Palova is a better player than Ella Toone. Well, I'd agree with you. I would absolutely agree with you. I think she is a better player than Ella Toone. I don't think there's much doubt about that at the moment, the way she's playing. I mean, Ella Toone's not been in her best form, has she? So Terry says, I'm going 15-0 if Super Gen plays. If not, 10-1. Well, Super Gen's not going to play today, is she? Let's be honest. After the other night, I wouldn't be too upset if she doesn't play, just because you know she wasn't great defensively the other night. Although, if we get some penalties, bring her on for some penalties because she can stick a penalty in, no problem at all. Rajendra says the women have been getting better and better now, playing as a good team. We're getting used to the players' playing style, and Palova now has shown a great increase in quality. Absolutely, yeah, no, 100%. I mean, the team's gelling. Everything's fitting into place. It's clicking. We're playing some great football. We're pressing high out of the pitch. We're playing with energy. We've got quality. We're dominating midfield now with Vicky in there, Kaya in there, Leah Walty in there. We're just, apart from that defensive area of the team, we don't have a real weakness, do we? And when Leah Williamson comes back, we're not even going to have a weakness there either, are we? Let's be honest. So, it's looking extremely good. But I'm going to go 4-1 tomorrow morning, tomorrow lunchtime. I think we've got far too much quality. And if we score more than that, I'll be brilliant. But I'll take a 4-1, I'll take a 3-1, I'll take a 1-0 until we get the 3 points done. I'm sure we will because we are the better team. As we showed that the other night, didn't we? We were the much better team. And that was with our second 11. So imagine what our first 11 is going to do to it tomorrow. It's going to be great, isn't it? But let's see. I think what Daniel says about this, he thinks that he's in the Tottenham section and he reckons there's like about 10,000 Arsenal bought tickets in there. So that'll be good, won't it? Imagine that. There's going to be more. There will probably be more Arsenal fans in that stadium than Tottenham. That'd be great, won't it? Jeffos says, is Lena Hurtig injured? Yes, she is injured, yes. He said, we need to have some conversation about her. Should we cash in on her? Because I just don't see her having a future at the club. I mean, the problem Lena Hurtig's had is, one, she's had a lot of injuries since she's been at the club. So she's played 2 or 3 games here and there. She gets injured. She comes back, plays 2 or 3 games, gets injured. She's not had a run in the team. And I don't know, yes, it's not looking great for her, is it now? When you look at the other players that are miles ahead of her now in terms of who's been playing while she's been out, she's not going to get in the team, is she? So maybe it could be time to say, sorry, Lena, it hasn't quite worked out for you. And maybe it's time for her to move on. But while she's injured, there's not much we can do, is there? She needs to get fit first, and then we'll see. I mean, I think she's a useful player to have on the bench to come on occasionally. I think she can, she showed against Leicester, she come on, took a goal well. She scored a goal in the Champions League qualifiers. I think she's got some quality, but yeah, it hasn't worked out. And yeah, it's a shame because I think she could be a good player, but she does remind me a little bit of Kai Havertz. I've said that before. And Kai Havertz is playing regular games, has got into it now, hasn't he? He's got going, and maybe she could, if she could play regular games, but she's not going to get regular games because one, she's injured, and two, we've now got players who are ahead of her in the squad, in the team. So, no. Would you sell her, Andreas, or would you want to keep her and get her fit and see what she can do?
Yeah, we keep her. I mean, last season we saw how important it is to have a squad depth. We talked a lot about that we must do something to have more depth in our squad. Now we have it, and we shouldn't start selling or loaning our players. Keep them in the January window. The season is quite long. We are in 3 competitions. We want to win 3 competitions. So we need every player, and give Lena a chance. Yeah, I hope for her that she can be fit for more than 2 games in a row, because yeah, every player needs to be fit and needs to be rolling in to come in best form and best condition. And she never had the chance, and it's not her fault. She was in the training camp for the Swedish national team and got injured there. So yeah, it's just a bad run she had, and I wouldn't sell her. Give her the chance to prove her worth for the team in the second half of the season, and then I think her contract will run out in 24. I think, and then yeah, maybe we will part ways, and she will look for another team. But I wouldn't sell her or loan her, and the same with Catherine Kuhl. I would keep her. We need the squad depth. We will be happy in April and May to be able to rotate with such quality players.
Yeah, I mean, I think after last season when we saw we didn't have any players left at the end, did we? Because of all the injuries that we had, and the squad depth wasn't as good. And yeah, now we've got such a good squad depth. We need to. I agree. I wouldn't necessarily get rid of her now. I think we need to get her fit, and we need to. She needs to play more games. Like you said, she needs to get more than 2 games without getting injured. Would be a start, wouldn't it? And then we can see. I think she's got quality. It hasn't quite worked out as yet, but I got a feeling at the end of the season she may well move on, just because she's not going to be a regular pick, is she? Even if she's fit at the moment. So it's not like we've got the Champions League games to throw into either. We might have some Continental Cup games in the new year. Well, we will have, hopefully. So Vijayendra says that we need a better goalkeeper. Yeah, we probably do, and that's why we're after a better goalkeeper. Sorry. LG says, who do you prefer, Earps or Fromes? Oh, that's an interesting one. Andreas, obviously you know a lot about Fromes, don't you, from Wolfsburg days. Who would you prefer out of those 2?
I would prefer Mary Earps. For me, she's the best keeper in Europe. If we don't get her, then Mala Fromes would be a good choice. She's very constant level playing at Wolfsburg, and very rarely making mistakes. So she's a very loud goalkeeper. She organizes her defense, and with a lot of self-confidence. For the national team, she played very well. She would be a good choice too. But if I should decide, I would say take Mary Earps.
Fair enough. And who would you pick out of those 2 if you had a choice?
That's what, of course. I think Marriott would be great, but Man United trying to sell to another rival, I mean, it could be unheard of. But I mean, they already sold Russo to us. But I mean, yeah, of course, you'd have to pick Marriott. But then, yeah, I mean, I know. I just thought maybe I'd throw a bit of a curveball in there. Considering we love recruiting Bayern players, what about somebody like Marla Gross? What about would she do well in the WSL? Do you think, Andrea?
It's only her second season as number 1.
Oh, fair enough.
She's 21, 22.
Oh,
She's
21. Fair enough.
Yeah, she's still learning, but she's a big talent, and she's so calm, and she gives the defense always this feeling of we have a fantastic goalkeeper behind us, no problem, and I think with 22 she's really good, and she has international experience due to Champions League last season, this season. Yeah, big talent, Malagros.
Nice. Yeah, but yeah, it's a difficult one. But I'll probably go with Mary. Probably, yeah, definitely.
I mean, see, I think that's quite a difficult one because I think that they're both obviously very, very good goalkeepers, two of the best that there is out there, and I think they've both got different strengths actually as well. So I don't know. Mary Earps obviously knows the WSL; it should be easier to settle in, and I think it would be the easier option out of the two. But I actually think Fromes is maybe a slightly better goalkeeper overall, maybe. You know, I think Mary Earps has. I'm not saying that, you know, she's made a couple of big errors in recent games for both club and country, and I don't know whether it's because she's been so consistent for so long and it happens to goalkeepers, but I don't know. Yeah, I think Mary Earps would be the safer bet, wouldn't she? I suppose, you know, just coming across from Man United, you know, and I just think it would make more sense, wouldn't it, really? But I do like Fromes. I think she's a very good goalkeeper, actually. And Rendition says there, Van Domselaar. I was saying Van Domselaar for the last 2 years. I've been singing
She's
Van
injured now,
Domselaar,
though.
and I wanted us to sign her, but we didn't. I mean, I think it's too late now. She's at Villa. I can't see her moving
She's
to
injured as
Arsenal.
well. She's injured.
At the minute, yeah, but I do like Van Domselaar, absolutely. Greg says we've probably got the best squad in Europe. Absolutely.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think we have. I'll say I think we got two really good teams. Jafar says there with today's press conference from the boss, I think there's a possibility she would be let go. Obviously, Lena Hurtig. He says it's a shame we haven't seen her play consistently. Yeah, that's the only issue I would say. You can't really judge a player when she's played 5 games, 10 games, if that, in 2 years. It's not enough, is it? Rajendra says, how fit is Laura Wainwright? She'll be a long way from playing yet. It was only May she got injured. You're thinking it's taken Beth and Viv a year. So that kind of tells you, doesn't it? Laura's not going to play until the very end of the season if she plays this season. It's not going to happen yet, unfortunately, for her. Rajendra says we need her back. Well, we can't rush her. She's probably going to be out for the season or near enough. So Terry says, I think we should put a cheeky bid in for the Villa keeper. Yeah, well, we've been talking about the Villa keeper for a long time. I don't think she's coming. I wish she would. Rajendra says, how good is Taya Goldie? Potentially very good. Another one who's had injury problems, isn't she? Another injury-prone player. I think she'll be a good player if she can keep herself fit. And she could be eventually the natural successor to Leah Williamson, potentially. So, that's how good she could be. But she needs to keep fit and keep herself fit. LG says there's an Allison about Mel Fromes. Yeah, maybe there is. I like her as a goalkeeper. I think she's good, but I think we'll end up getting Mary Earps if we're going to get one of them. Jeff says, what about Gio? Is she registered? I heard we couldn't register her. No, she's not registered because we had 25 players. So she couldn't be registered. If anyone leaves in January, there's a possibility she can get registered then. Or if we buy somebody, then the new player will probably get registered if we're going to buy them in January. So no, Gio isn't registered, so she can't play, which is a shame. Greg says, Earps another free transfer to us at the end of the season. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's not going to happen in January.
No.
At the end of the season, I think that's when it'll happen. Because I think Manu, as we've mentioned before, is probably going to go back to Germany, isn't she? Due to her personal life circumstances. And I think Manu Zinsberger is going to probably leave anyway at the end of the season. So it would make sense to buy Mary Earps in, wouldn't it? Or Fromes, whoever it might be. Or Van Domselaar. Let's not rule out Van Domselaar completely because I do like her. But yeah, it's probably going to be one of those two, more than likely Mary Earps. And I think we'd all be pretty happy, wouldn't we, if Mary Earps walked through the door next season. I don't think we'd have to. Terry says, Millwall Lionesses keeper looks very promising. I don't know too much about her, actually. She the one that we played, because we played them last season, didn't we, in the FA Cup? Season before it might have been, actually. I don't know too much about her, actually, but there's obviously better goalkeepers than her knocking around, isn't there? Anyway, so Tottenham we're going to beat them. Of course we're going to beat them. It's Tottenham. We're not going to not beat them, are we? Let's be honest. It's going to be good fun. So yeah, we look forward to that game tomorrow. 12 o'clock kickoff, actually, so it's an early one. So I'll be here about 11:45. I'm doing a park run in the morning and then coming back and getting ready for the game.
Nice.
You have a good park run on Saturday when there's no football. I'm not playing football tomorrow, so we've got a big park run, which will be good. Emma, have you got a question for us today?
Yeah, I've actually been thinking about it all week. So yeah, why not? I've got one. Yeah. So. Right.
The highlight of the show is about to come. I've got my pen, I've got my bit of paper, and we're going to do this. So, take it away, Emma. What have you got for us this week?
So, after her double against Chelsea, Leslie Russo has now scored more goals for has scored as many goals for Arsenal as she did against Arsenal playing for Manchester United. Is this true or false?
Oh.
In all competitions, not just league games, but in all competitions, she scored as many goals now for Arsenal as she did against Arsenal playing for Manchester United.
And the goals she scored for us, you're also counting these in Champions League qualifiers?
Oh no! So not Champions League qualifiers, just in the league. Yeah, not qualifiers. No.
Ah, okay. I would say then,
it's not true.
I would say it's the same amount.
So you're saying it's true?
Well, no, I'm saying it's the same. Now she scored the same for us as against us.
Yeah.
Without
so
the Champions League.
Yeah. So you're saying it's true then, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So you're saying true. What are you saying, Andre? You were saying a minute ago it's false.
I thought she scored one more against us.
Well, as far as I'm aware, I think she scored 4 goals against us, isn't it? One was in the Conti Cup quarter-final in January 22. She also scored against us in the league last season, once at the Emirates, and once at Bournemouth in the 1-1 draw just after the Conti Cup. So, yeah, I think she scored 4 goals for Manchester United against us, and then 4 now for Arsenal. So, yeah, the answer's
She got the same.
same number of goals. So, there you go. Just hopefully many more. Hopefully many more for us, and even... It'll be interesting to see if she does celebrate against United, but let's see. But I think she's, So the answer was true.
I would still count the goals in the Champions League qualifiers because they're kind of official goals for the season. But in terms of the domestic competitions, it's 4 for us and 4 against us. So the next goal that she scores for us puts us in credit for us then when the next goal that she scores, hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah.
The David says it was false. She scored more for us now. Well, yeah, if we didn't count the other games, he says otherwise false. She scored more for me. Well, it's actually exactly the same amount. Funny enough, LG's gone with true as well, which it was, which is good. Just going back to Manu Zinsberger, LG says where would Manu play in Germany? Though I don't see her starting for either Bayern or Wolfsburg. I don't know. Actually, Andreas might help us. Would you reckon there's a team in Germany that would take Manu Zinsberger and should play regular for?
I could only imagine if Merle Promes comes to us, then the number 1 spot at Wolfsburg would be free for Manu. But I don't think that Bayern will go for her. She was in Munich, and she lost her place to Laura Benkert. And before she, in the season before she came to Arsenal, in Frankfurt, it's Stina Johannes. She's in the national team. The squad, and I don't think she will go to a weaker team. So, but I read this week that there might be a potential deal with Scandinavia. I don't know about personal stuff. Why her wife doesn't want or cannot move to England. Maybe they can move together to Sweden or Scandinavia. I don't know, but I think it's personal reason that Manu wants to leave, and she posted today on Instagram that her wife is in London for 2 or 3 more days, but that's not for the future. If you are married, you want to be together all the time and not only after a few weeks for 2-3 days. This could be possible if Froms leaves Wolfsburg, then number 1 spot there would be free. But if does Wolfsburg want Manu? I don't know. It's difficult.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe Scandinavia might be the answer to her issues. Maybe we'll have to see. But I do think at the end of the season, she may well be leaving us anyway, and we will be getting a new goalkeeper, whoever that happens to be. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be exciting times coming up, I'm sure.
It will be for sure. Yeah,
it's definitely be exciting. Now we've got a rather tough question from Jafar. Says there, without bias, Millie Bright or Leah Williamson. I mean, for me, I don't need to think about it. Leah Williamson all day long because I think
all day long. Yeah, I know.
I love Millie Bright. I think she's a great defender, but Leah Williamson's got everything. She's a great footballer. She's great on the ball. She's a great organizer. She reads the game well. She's a great defender. I think Leah Williamson's the best in the world in that position. So I'll put for Millie Bright. As good as Millie Bright is as a defender, as an out-and-out one-on-one defender, she's brilliant, Millie Bright. But Leah Williamson offers so much more as well in terms of her ability on the ball.
Yeah.
So Leah Williamson, I don't even need to question it at all. 100% Leah Williamson, no fault. I mean, Andreas, agree?
No, yeah, I think so.
It's always Leah Williamson. She's not only a defender or centre back. She's a midfielder. She's a leader in the team, and Millie is good. But you see in the Lionesses team, Millie and Leah, this is the perfect match. I would always go with Leah if she's fit again.
I reckon you should try sticking her up front sometimes and see how she does there as well.
But she can probably play anywhere, let's be honest. She's just a great footballer. And I think that if you're a great footballer, you can play in any position, and it's not going to make a lot of difference. And I do think Leah Williamson is.
No, there's no question.
I think she's the best in the world at where she plays. And I don't think there's a better player than her in the world. So, yes, Leah Williamson all day long.
Mind you, she has that. I don't know if you agree with me, Rich, but I think she reminds you a little bit of Tony Adams, the way she leads the team and the way she commands that centre-back position. She has all the hallmarks of Tony Adams about her.
She does, although yes, I think she's a much better footballer than Tony Adams was. But I'll tell you, maybe she does more. She's more like, and again, totally different eras. But maybe Bobby Moore, that sort of a defender, because he was a good footballer, wasn't he, with the ball at his feet as well. And I would compare her. Obviously, they both lifted a trophy for England, the only two captains to do so in whatever, actually. So they've got a link there. But I do think actually, the way that they play is quite similar. If you're going to compare her to any former England player, I would say more likely to be Bobby Moore personally. But I don't care. She's the best that there is, and I can't wait to see her playing again, obviously. But there you go. Leandro says Wilbur Moy has been improving compared to last year. 100%. Absolutely. Yeah, she is. But she's still a little way off Leah Williamson. That is yet. You know, she'll probably never get there. Because how can she? Well, Leah Williamson is a one-off. Terry says Millie Bright over the hill. She's a Chelsea pick. Well, obviously, yeah, she's getting towards the end of her career, but she's still a good defender, isn't she? Come on, she's still good. LG says I disagree. There's a Mappy Leon, Irene Padiras, Magda Eriksson, Millie Bright. Yeah, they're all good. I'm not saying they're not good. I just think Leah Williamson's better than all of them because of. She's not just a defender, is she? She's not. No. That's not just the one thing that she can do. She's so good with the ball, and most central. I'm not saying obviously Paredes is great with the ball as well. Magda Eriksson is okay with the ball, but I think that Leah Williamson's better than all of them personally overall. But maybe I'm just biased. I don't know. But anyway, I do think she's the best. But yeah, we would definitely take her over Millie Bright. Absolutely, 100%. Looking at the Chelsea team at the minute, I don't think there's one player out of that Chelsea team I would take over any of ours.
No, of course not.
Maybe Sam Kerr, but then would I rather have Sam Kerr than Stina or Russo? No, I don't think I would actually. You can keep Sam Kerr at her 4, whatever she was doing. You can keep that. We don't want that. We've got that.
Just a quick one. Just another idea came to mind about goalkeepers. I tell you, he's a free agent. Just an idea that came to mind. What about the former Wolfsburg goalkeeper Schult? Because she's quite experienced. Would she make a good fit maybe for Zinsberger at Arsenal?
No, I don't think that she's on that level again. She's giving birth to a child again.
Oh, fair enough. Just an idea.
She had already twins. Now she has another baby, and it's more than a year since her last competitive game. I don't know whether she will return to professional football. No,
it's tough. It's pretty tough. Yeah, no, fair enough. Sorry, that's a good point. Yeah, no, it's difficult because there's a dearth of really good goalkeepers. But yeah, I mean, I've had a few names in my mind as well. But it's not as if Barcelona, for example, would let somebody like Sandra Panos go. But it's difficult to find a really good goalkeeper out there, and but I think we should be happy with what we got. But maybe we do need to strengthen in that position.
I think next season, I think we will do, and I'm sure. Mary Earps does seem the most likely because there was so much talk of it for the last year, so I'm sure we will get her eventually. Terry makes a good point there. He says, "And Leah can play the piano." Exactly.
Yeah, she can. Yeah.
And so,
That was a brilliant video. I loved it. That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Yeah, that was fantastic.
I jokingly tweeted after that. Oh, are you taking any bookings? But no, she didn't answer me.
We should probably get her to answer that. Yeah. I mean, this is Muzovic is maybe one from Chelsea that we could maybe look at. She's not a bad goalkeeper, let's be honest. LG says Leah is phenomenal on the ball, but as an actual defender, she's overrated. No, you see, in the Euros, right? She played in defence in a competition that England won, conceded 2 goals in the whole tournament, and she didn't make one. She didn't have to make one tackle. That's because she reads the game. She doesn't have to fly into tackle. She's always in the right place. Yeah. So I actually think that she's a better defender than people think she is. For that reason, it's easy. If you're a central defender and you're flying into tackles and winning all these tackles, maybe like Millie Bright does, you think, oh, what a great defender they are. But they're out of position in the first place. If you've got to make last-ditch tackles constantly, you're not in the right position. Leah Williamson very rarely has to make a tackle because she's always in the right place because she reads the game. So she's actually a better defender than anybody gives her credit for. And she's got the extra bonus of being one of the greatest players on the ball. That's why I'm saying she's the best player in the world. She's the best at what she does in the world. No question. Absolutely no question about it. No one can match that.
Her awareness, go on. Her awareness, she doesn't very rarely, in fact, I can't even remember a situation. She does not fly into a challenge. She's not reckless in any way, shape, or form. No. She's so reliable. Yeah. It's because she reads the game, Emma. That's why she's in the right position. She doesn't have to make a tackle. Second to none. She anticipates and she just steps in, wins the ball. That's what she does. Second to none.
She's not an overrated defender. I think she's an underrated as a defender. She's made job mistake here. Of course, everybody does, but that doesn't distract away from the fact that she is the best at what she does. Absolutely. Greg says Sam Kerr will leave Chelsea at the end of the season with Hayes. Yeah, I think you might be right. I think you might well be right. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised. Rendition says Maldini Wiseword once says if you're doing last ditch tackles, you're doing it exactly. Yeah, you're in the wrong position. Absolutely, you're in the wrong position. LG says she just stood there letting Kerr and Wismouth. Yeah, but you see, I don't think. Yes, the one with Sam Kerr particularly, she held her hands up to that afterwards and said it was her mistake, right? And I think it was.
Which game was that? Was it the cup final? Which game was that?
No, the equaliser last season at the Emirates.
That was a good ball as well by Chankovic, to be fair.
It was a good ball, but Leah admitted her mistake afterwards, and I thought she was at fault for that goal. And I think maybe in the air, she isn't necessarily the best in the air. I'll give you that. In the air, she's not necessarily the strongest. I'm not saying she's weak in the air, but she's not the strong. That's not her strongest aspect of her game. Everything else, she's absolutely quality on. I'd give her 10 out of 10 for every other part of her game. Maybe heading, maybe an 8 out of 10. She's a little bit off on that. And yes, on those 2 occasions, she had, she wasn't great. I agree, but you can't look at 2 goals to concede and say, well, that means she's no great defender.
How many actually?
Look at all the goals that she stopped. She's stopped 150,000 more goals than she's let in like that. So, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's been culpable for a goal. Every single player in the world has.
How many goals would you say down the years that she is actually, let's say, she's made a mistake? She's actually hardly, and it's funny they speak of Maldini. I was thinking about the other day, what would her nickname be? I would refer to her as the Milton Keynes Maldini, because she's that good.
No, I mean, she's, I won't ever have bad words said about Leah Williamson.
No, exactly.
Not only is she a magnificent football player, but what a great role model she is as well.
Footballing brain is amazing. Her footballing brain.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on. Sorry.
She should be like, if anybody that wants a female role model to look up to, it has to be Leah Williamson. You can't go any further than that. She is literally the best role model for women that there is in this country by an absolute mile. So regardless of how good or bad she is at football, that's a fact as well. Jeffo says, a tough question. If you were to sacrifice between Leah and Kim Little, who are you letting go? I kind of feel disgusting with this. I mean, to be honest with you, again, Kim Little is the wrong side of 30. She's getting a few injuries. Leah Williamson, yes, she's had this big injury, but she's still got 4, 5, 6 years at the top. If not, I'd keep Leah Williamson all day long. If that was a choice, I'd get rid of Kim Little straight away and Leah Williamson stays 100%.
She's 26. She's 26, man.
Yeah,
she's 26.
I think she's 27, isn't she now? But yeah, exactly. Kim Little, as great as she's been, and we love her, and she's brilliant still. if that was the choice, that would be my. I wouldn't even think about it.
No,
I wouldn't swap Leah Williamson for anybody. Not for anybody.
No.
So it's pointless asking me because I wouldn't swap with anyone. I mean, Andreas, would you go with Leah or Kim?
Yeah,
If we had to?
but I think last season the question would have been much more difficult because last season we said we can't replace Kim. We have nobody who can play her role in midfield. And this season, totally different. We have Kyra, we have Vicky, and it shows that we will be able to replace Kim. I'm happy if she continues playing 2 or 3 more years. I think she has at least 2 years in her on this level. But it shows we can, there will be a life after Kim for our midfield. The season shows it. But Leah still has 6-7 years in her, and we all hope that she returns to her level, and then this will be a massive boost for our defense.
I think we've all been, we're all excited to see Beth playing again. It's been brilliant. We're all really excited to see Viv getting back to her best. But for me, seeing Leah Williamson back playing is going to be incredible because it's been a long time without her in the team, and I think we'll see once she's playing again and she's back to her best, we'll see exactly how much we've missed her. And yes, we've missed Beth, we've missed Viv, of course we have, and we're great that they're on their way back. But for me, Leah Williamson is going to be. That's going to be the big one to come back for me. I can't wait. I just can't wait.
That's going to be amazing. I mean, you saw the reception Beth got when she came back against Villa and the Raw. I think when Leah comes back, it's going to be. I wouldn't say it would surpass the Raw that Beth got, but it'll be almost as similar. It'll be like feeling like, it's like a new player just come into the squad almost.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to take her a few games to get back into it again. Of course, it is. You can't come straight back and be back at your best. No. It takes ages. No, and I don't expect we'll see the best of Leah Williamson maybe this season because she's not going to come back till maybe February. It's going to take her maybe March and April to get herself back, and it's near the end of the. Hopefully, when we win the league and win the cup and win everything else, she'll be there to be there and play in them games. But I don't expect her back to her best until getting towards the end of the season. But anyway, let's see what happens. We'll see. Jafar says, I'm not letting Kim leave. No, we won't let her leave. No, you can't have another Kim in this football club. Absolutely not. Remember, guys, she's 30 plus and still looks 25. Exactly, yeah. I'd sacrifice myself. Both are legends. No, we don't need to sacrifice yourself, mate. We need you as well. But no, I mean, it would be tough, but I think Leah's, just for the future, Leah's got a lot more years left in her at the top level than what Kim has. And I think Leah right now is a more important player going forward than Kim's going to be. And as Andreas said, we've almost replaced Kim's on the pitch already in certain way with a player we've got in that's still very young. I mean, I suppose, Amar, if you had to make that choice, I know we haven't got to make that choice, luckily.
No, I'm not making that choice. I'm gonna abstain. They're two both good. I'm not. If those options to abstain, I would absolutely abstain because they're both integral to our squad. Absolutely integral.
No,
legends, and even Leah has still got so much more to give at 26. Kim could play. We could be here talking. What is it? It's 2020. We could be here talking in 2040. Kim's 50 and she's still playing amazing. So she can play till she's 50, honestly. And Leah could play till beyond that as well. But no, I'm absolutely abstaining from that one. No, I would never pick one over the other.
No, we don't want to have to pick either, do we? Of course we don't. But obviously, that was just a question that we were asked, so we're going to answer it, and we sort of have done anyway.
I remember when one of the first matches I saw at Meadow Park, and I said to a German friend, how good is Kim Little? I've never heard much about her, but how good is she? And he said the same, and that I don't understand that clubs like Lyon didn't come for her at her peak years. Why is she all the time playing at Arsenal? There are bigger teams in Europe, and she's so good. This was one of my first impressions when I saw her. As she's forever, she will be a legend for the Arsenal.
Oh, absolutely! 100%. She's been fantastic for years and years. She's been absolutely magnificent, there's no doubt. Greg says, and I agree. We would have won the World Cup if Leah Williamson was playing. I think if Leah Williamson and Beth were playing, we'd definitely have won it. I don't think there's any question about that. Yeah, but even just having Leah there, I think would have made a difference. Definitely. LG says, "Do you think we still need her?" No, We've got Kyra Cooney-Cross. What do we need Overdall for? We've got Kyra Cooney-Cross.
Can we have Georgia Stanway? Can we have Georgia Stanway? Can we have Georgia Stanway?
No, we don't want Georgia Stanway either. Rendition says if you could
no,
trade
no,
Little for Bon
no.
Matty.
Where are these questions coming from? No.
I mean, again,
No.
Bon Matty's obviously younger, isn't she? And you know,
Absolutely
she's a
not.
magnificent player, but I'll tell you what, in 3 years' time, we'll make that swap. In 3 years' time, we'll have Bon Matty in 3 years' time, and when Kim Little retires, how's that? That'll be what we'll do. I think that's pretty much what we need. Terry says, how can people forget how good Leah is passing and deliveries with Russo? Yeah, exactly. I don't think people have forgotten. It's just that she's not played for a long while, and maybe when you don't see her on the pitch, it's easy to forget exactly what she brings. But anyway, it is great stuff. Jeffo says, guys, I watched the women's team with my brother, and he doesn't normally watch women's football. But he said Kim Little can play for a men's team without no doubt. That's how good she is. Yeah, I mean, she's. I think she'll probably get injured at the minute because she seems to get injured quite a lot from little tackles now. But yeah, I agree. She could have played in the men's game probably. Yeah, she's that sort of player, isn't she? Absolutely. Regenda says, how many fans do Lyon get at their stadium? I'm not sure actually. Probably not that many, do they, Lyon? When we played them, did they? That last season when we played them, it was quite empty, wasn't it? I know they played in a bigger stadium. I don't get that. They're not. They haven't. I mean, no one's got anywhere near the sort of fans that we've got.
1,500 to be precise. The capacity of their stadium is 1,500.
Is that what that's not the stadium that we played them in, is it?
Yeah, the Groupama Stadium. That's where we played last year. 1,500. Yeah.
Didn't we play them in the big stadium?
No, I think that's the home ground. No, that's their home ground. Groupama, I think it's called the Groupama Stadium. It says capacity 1,500, but it could be wrong, obviously.
Yeah, yesterday they had 6,500 at the Groupama for their Champions
League. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know why it says the capacity is 1,500, unless I'm mistaken.
No, it'll be like us, like if you searched Arsenal women, our ground's Meadow Park.
Oh, sorry, apologies. Well, I don't know why it said 1,500. Sorry. That was wrong. I know it's 59,000 in for the men's, but yeah, 59,000. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. I mean, Rendition says we play. Yeah, I thought we played them in the proper men's stadium, didn't we? When we played them last year, because it was a big stadium. I know it was quite empty, but yeah, I mean, obviously they'll have their own home ground, and they probably use the big stadium for the Champions League games and stuff like we do at the Emirates. It'll probably be similar to that, won't it? There's nowhere near. They've got nowhere near the sort of fan base that we've got, though. No one has, to be fair, have they? No one Barcelona will claim that they have because they filled the new camp once with 90,000. We do it all the time. Vijendra says, how can someone say Lyon is a bigger team? Well, because Lyon have won the Champions League a few more times.
8 times.
Yeah, they've won all the trophies that they've won. That's why people say. I mean, I think when you're looking at big clubs, it's difficult to rank clubs in an order because there's so many different factors. You've got trophies won, you've got obviously fan base, you've got stadium, you've got loads of different things that you have to take into account. And it's difficult, isn't it? Lyon have won the trophies. They deserve to be called a big club. Absolutely, 100% they do. They haven't got the fan base that we've got, but would you swap our fans for their trophies? You know what I mean? It's that kind of situation. We won't have to because we're going to win all those trophies and have the fans coming up now in the next few years. But over the last 5 or 6 years, I'd have probably swapped what they've won for having the number of fans that we've got. But we don't need to choose, do we? Because we're going to have it all. Yeah. But there you go. LG says, I think we are favourites to win the WSL this season. We should win it to avoid them silly.
It is ridiculous. I agree.
It is ridiculous. Yeah, we definitely need to do that. But it's going to change next year, isn't it? The European things anyway. Jeffo says, this season I feel more comfortable Arsenal women playing in the men's stadium than at Meadow Park. Yeah, I must admit, I didn't think that before because we were losing a few games at the Emirates. But this season, with the bigger crowds, we seem to have rose to the occasion and steps up, which is great to see. We've got a comment that says, Pat says there, Alicia Russo, I had to get out of my comfort zone to make the next step. Exactly, yeah.
Yes, that was a great answer.
Arsenal, bigger club. There you go, exactly. 100% correct. So, yeah, I mean, wow, we've I've been a lot to get through tonight. It's been good, actually.
Yes, it's been good. It's been good. I missed it, actually.
It's been really good. We've enjoyed that.
3 weeks, about 3 weeks since we lost. Yeah.
Of course, yeah, because you've been away. Terry says, does it really matter how many fans Lyon has? They are still left with the same face as Salty and the Chelsea fans did last week. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Terry, you make a great report. So you make a great
We've been
report.
playing with semi-pro team when we won everything compared to Leon, a fully paid Leon. Yeah, I mean football's changed. Women's football's changed, hasn't it? We won when we won all our trophies. The women's game was in a totally different place to what it is now, and that's why I really want us to start winning all the big trophies now as well. So we say, well, we did it then when the game was smaller, and we're doing it now when the game's bigger. And I think that's got to be what we need to do now, isn't it, to take it to that next next step. Gunnar Dan has gifted 5 memberships to the channel, which is great. Thank you very much again, Dan. He's doing that a lot for me, mate. That's good. But no, you're right. I want to see Arsenal winning trophies now when the game's at the level that it's at, and then we can say we've done it all, and then win the Champions League again next season as well, and then we can say we've completed it. Women's football, we've completed it. There you go. That's it. Alessia Russo, LG says Alessia Russo is a great player, no doubt, but I believe part of the reason she was signed is because of her looks. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, she's a very pretty girl.
Don't do it. Beauty is a rival beholder.
She's definitely been signed for her ability on the pitch. We've seen that absolutely.
No question.
Daniel says, hit the like so we can score the goals tomorrow. Exactly. Give us a like before you go tonight, and then join us tomorrow, 11:45. We are here for the big game, North London Derby from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Tottenham versus Arsenal. Arsenal can go 3 points clear at the top of WSL. It's the last game before Christmas. It's the last game of 2023. So I'll tell you what we'll do next Friday. What date's that? 22nd. Why don't we do a year-end review of 2023 next week?
2023.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, it's the 20th. Sorry, I'm getting
22nd.
22nd.
Sorry,
Yeah.
next Friday. 23rd, maybe. 23rd.
Favorite. Oh, I love this one. Favorite goal, best player, best game. I'm gonna love this. Yeah, I'm gonna start writing this down.
So we're gonna do. Yeah, so we're going to do the best of 2023 next Friday at 7:30. So, we'll look back on the year, the best goal, the best player of the year, the best moment. I think we know what the best moment is. Probably that what's behind me there, lifting that trophy. I would imagine. But we've all got our own special memories, haven't we? So, we'll be doing that next week. So that'll be good. And then obviously we'll also look back on the Tottenham game as well, briefly as well. Look back on all the goals, all the 9, 10, 11 goals we're going to score, of course, as we were saying there. Jeffo says, I watched Farrah Williams' podcast and she said the only team in WSL that has massive impact outside the pitch of community is Arsenal. Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we are the biggest club. There's no doubt. We just need to start winning these trophies now to get. That's the final thing that we need. We've won them all in the past. We need to win them now. We need to win the WSL now. We need to win the FA Cup. We need to win the Champions League. Do them all again now when it's at the top of its game. But there you go. We've got another comment there from Patrick says we could have ripped each other's heads off. Arsenal stars Beth Mead, Vivian Miedemar. Yeah, they've got their new series actually. That's starting next week, isn't it?
Monday, Arsenal.com. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, looking back on their kind of injury and their recovery together.
Step by step.
Yeah. On Arsenal.com, step by step is called. It's starting on the 18th of December, I think it is. So that'll be
Monday. That's right, Monday.
Monday, yeah. So definitely watch that. It's going to be brilliant. Actually, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be really, really good. An insight into those two. Rajendra says, I'm in block 308, row 6, seat 147. So if you're in the game, if you're at the game tomorrow and you're anywhere near block 308, go down to row 6 and say hello to Rajendra. He doesn't want to talk to all the Tottenham fans. So he'd like some Arsenal company. So if you are around that block, please go there and say hello to Rajendra and sit with him. LG says the game suits us more tomorrow. I'm not scared one bit. We're normally performing away games that are held in big stadiums. Yeah, we normally do. I agree. I'm not worried about it. I just feel that away from home, you have to be cautious because it's not your stadium. You've got to go away. It's slightly different. The home team's got a little advantage, although we're going to have all the crowd anyway. So it's going to be like a home game, isn't it? So we'll see. Rajendra says wins will come and other teams will fear. But I think other teams fear playing us already anyway. I think they do. So I won't worry about that. Patrick says Monday. Yeah, Monday it's out. Yeah, the documentary's out Monday. The Champions League draw is Monday for the men as well. So lots going on. So we'll definitely be there. So there you go. Patrick says, do you three guys play football? I think you guys play as a goal.
No.
I don't play. I do play. I play football. Yeah, I played last night actually. I played futsal actually last night for the first time, which was good.
Oh, that's the indoor game, and that's the indoor one, isn't it?
Yeah. I normally play 5-a-side. What I did yesterday was I played 5-a-side outside between 7 and 8, and then 8:15 till 9 o'clock I played futsal inside. So I was quite busy. Nice. But it was good. I enjoyed it, and obviously I play 11-a-side on a Saturday usually as well. But we haven't tonight. But I don't play as a goalkeeper. No, I can see Andreas playing as a goalkeeper in his younger days. Did you?
I think absolutely no talent for this.
Oh, no. Come on. Yeah, no, I
What
wouldn't.
about you, Emma? Have you ever played as a goalkeeper?
Well, I did when I was at school, but they used to just say stick me in defensive midfield, and I wasn't really getting much out of it. But yeah, I did. I was all right, but no. Then I've pursued other interests, and I'm grateful for those. I'm grateful to be a fan and just be able to talk about it and be able to watch it. That's good enough for me.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, you don't need to play football to be able to understand the game and talk about it, do you? So, despite what Joey Barton seems to think, you don't need to. It's advantage, I suppose, if you're getting paid to do it, but we're not, so we'll talk what we like. So he says, great show again, Richard. International man of mystery, Andreas, and 5 minute early MR. Good to have you back. He says, well done. There's a lot of comments in the chat tonight. So it's been really, really busy. I might have missed 1 or 2 out just because of the sheer number of them. I do apologise if I have. LG says, when Emma Hayes was fearful before our game last week, and that says it. Exactly, she was. She looked a bit scared, didn't she? Terry says, Andreas must be a better keeper than a singer. Great, what are you on about on the vlog? If you haven't seen it,
come on, sing. I think he can sing too. He's multi-talented. Come on, sing for us, Andreas.
It was absolutely great. We got some good singers on the show because Matt used to sing for us every week, didn't he? That was always good. But James says, I now play walking football. Yeah, walking football is good. Walking football is great, mate. I hope you enjoy that. That's really good. Probably says, it means you did not play professional football. You played for fun.
Yeah,
you guys work as well. No, exactly. Yeah, no, we're not footballers as a job as much as I'd like it to have been my job. No, we just play for. It's not for fun. I play in a league and it's serious. We want to win and all that kind of stuff. It's a proper league. It's not just a mess around. But yeah, it's not professional or anything like that. But Jan just said, we had that one there yet. Dan says, is it 5-a-side on Astro? Yeah, well, I play on Astro. Last night outside I was on Astro, and obviously inside was in the gym. That's definitely Astro. I'll play on grass on a Saturday, 11-a-side usually. Although at the minute we can't play on grass because it's waterlogged everywhere because we've had so much rain anyway. Yeah. But yeah, I play on grass on a Saturday. And Regina says, once it warms up, well, I don't want to play when it's cold. It takes me ages to warm up in this weather. It's terrible. But anyway. It's all good fun, isn't it? It's all good fun. Anyway, so that is the Arsenal Women's Show done for another week. That was such a good show. I really enjoyed that. So one of the best ones that we've done, I think. Pretty brilliant. So many good things to get through. So many great comments in the chat as well. So many people involved tonight, which is really good. So thank you all for watching. Yeah, do give us a like. And of course, join me tomorrow for the game against Tottenham. Andreas, thank you very much for joining us. Good to have you back on home soil again, as it were. Have you enjoyed the show?
Yeah, of course. And I think today time was flying. I didn't realize that we were talking 2 hours.
It's good. The more the merrier.
It's so much pleasure to watch them playing and talking about it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And thanks for all the comments. And yeah, it was great.
No, it is great. I mean, it's good to be doing this show every week, of course. And Amar, as well, good to have you back from your travels. Good to see you.
Strangely, actually went as a good time because there was a break between the games. I was actually building up to the game. I know 4 men's games to follow, and goodness knows if I'd missed a women's game, knowing the time difference and everything, I thought, oh no. But I'm glad I was able to do my videos from Goa. I was able to send those through, and then I don't know what the reaction was to them. It would be good if it was positive last week. It was good to be back, and I'm looking forward to end of year review. Be sad over the break for Christmas, but no, that gives the girls a chance to reset. They need it. And exciting times ahead after last week, and long may it continue, and hopefully we'll put a few past the Spiders this week. Bring it on.
Let's finish the year in style tomorrow. That's what I say.
Absolutely.
Papu says, is Andreas a professional singer? Well, what you want to do is listen to his blog. It's on the channel. His match blog for the Chelsea game, and you'll hear Andreas is singing, and it's great. Yeah. So you'll enjoy that. You'll definitely enjoy it. So definitely get onto that. Patrick says, yes, Rich, left foot banger. Yeah, well, I'm left footed, yeah. And they do something. I'm a bit like Katie McCabe, actually. That's exactly what I'm like. So there you go. But that's it. Terry says, is it just me or is everyone fed up with Christmas all over the house? We roll on the New Year. Yeah, I mean, we haven't even put our Christmas tree up yet. We're doing it tomorrow, actually. I just don't have time to do it. But so, yeah, it is a bit of a faff, isn't it? But anyway, it is Christmas, and we've got to enjoy it. LG says, wow, these 2 hours flew by. I thank you guys for an amazing show. And I thank you as well for your comments, my friend. It's always good to everyone. I say so many comments tonight. Wow. It's made the show go on a bit longer because reading through all the comments and stuff. But it's always good that you guys are part of the show. We appreciate you being here, and we love interacting with you as well. So there you go. But yeah, so don't forget tomorrow, 11:45, I'll be here for the Arsenal versus Tottenham women's game from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That is going to be a fantastic game. That, look forward to having your company for that one. And of course, on Sunday, I'll be back for the men's game as well against Brighton. That is a 2 o'clock kickoff, so I'll be at 1:45 for that one as well. Because although the women are great and we love the women's team and we know they're the best team, we do cover the men's games as well. And we are a fan of the men's team as well.
Come on.
Even though sometimes they frustrate us a little bit more. But anyway, we'll be back on. So we'll be there tomorrow and then on Sunday for that. So your weekend can officially start now. The show's over. It's only a short weekend because tomorrow we're back at 1:45. So it's a short little break. I'll be doing my park run first, get all that out of the way, and then I'll be here for the game. So join me for that. Thank you for watching. Thanks to Andreas, of course. Thanks to Amar, as always. And thanks to you guys as well for watching. Don't forget, give us a like and subscribe. I will see you tomorrow. Come on,
guys. Come on. Okay. Take it easy, everybody.